Hello, yes. We are ready to go. Let's wait until people get in. Frugal, what's going on? How's it going, my friend? Mmm. What's up? Not too much. Just starting out our stream. You're getting in right as we started, actually. Literally. Literally like 2 seconds in. That's pretty cool. We're gonna watch a couple videos today. I think we're gonna try to keep it relatively chill. Try to keep it relatively chilled out. And I'm gonna make a couple videos as we're doing it. What do we have to do tonight? Well, it's morning for me. It's morning for me, but yeah, we're just gonna be watching a couple videos. And then if people have suggestions on things we can talk about. Last time we got into a interesting discussion about DDT, the pesticide, insecticide, if you can believe it. And I actually got a book on it that I can go over if the one guy who was really interested in it gets back in. But otherwise, I think that's such a niche discussion. It's very weird. But yeah. So that's what we're doing. All right, so the first video that we're going to be watching today is going to be on our old friend, the minimum wage from Reason TV. Let me hit my... So I don't think the minimum wage is a good thing. I think it does more harm than good, but I'm certainly, as always, reasonably willing to be convinced otherwise. Let me see if this video from Reason TV will convince me.
This California McDonald's franchise owner says he's had to cut staffing by 10% in the past year.
And generally speaking, large corporations like McDonald's are fairly well insulated. The one famous study that I always get referenced in terms of the minimum wage being a good thing exclusively used large franchises like McDonald's or Burger King. And that study said, well, there's not really anything super bad that happened because of it.
And this chart might explain why. Last year, California increased its minimum wage for fast food workers from $16 to $20 an hour. Politicians like Governor Gavin Newsom hailed this as a great idea that would help working class Californians. But look at what happened to fast food jobs.
I don't know if you could see it. That's a small chart, but the line goes down. The line goes down. Ooh.
While
Gotcha.
employment in affected fields basically stayed the
Now, some people will say, let's go back. Some people will say, well, hey, look, the line was already going down. Yeah, that's because the line goes down before the law goes in effect because the law was announced before that. So people were anticipating that, okay, we're going to have to fire people. So business goes down.
While employment in affected fields basically stayed the same in other states, it's cratered in California. It looks like a lot of business owners couldn't afford the hike in labor costs, so they laid off employees or stopped hiring new ones, because the real minimum wage is $0.
As always, that is the meme. Minimum wage, for real, is $0. You can artificially inflate it via legislation, but in general, guess what? If the work you're providing is not worth, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, well, then they just can't afford to pay you because you're not providing $15, $20 worth of value to the company. And therefore, you got to go. And, businesses will take a hit and they'll say, you know what? We can't afford to employ people, so we'll employ robots. We'll automate. We'll get rid of tellers at checkout counters, and we'll just have self-checkout stuff. Okay, great, that works. You're going to have some theft, but you know what? We can't afford to pay people $20. Not a great way to go. So now there's people are unemployed. And I mean, again, what do you want? Who do you want to benefit here? There's trade-offs either way. Do you want people to be paid, kind of like what they're worth, $5 an hour for, a job that a machine could easily do? Okay, well, $5 is not enough to live on. That's probably true. Yeah, that's definitely true nowadays, I'm sure. But they're getting some skills, they're getting some labor. If they're out in the world, they might have some other opportunities as opposed to we're going to make it $20 an hour. If you get $20 an hour, if you get one of those jobs, you can better provide for yourself and your livelihood. But way more people are going to be out there doing it. And therefore, there's far less people out there that are gaining skills and are becoming, more productive members of society over a long period of time by doing, lower tier menial jobs. Obviously, I'm willing to be convinced otherwise, but this is certainly my contention, always has been as far as the minimum wage goes. And yeah, this is more evidence. And this is even showing that, let's see, this video I believe is 2025. Let's check. Yeah, May 28th, 2025. That means that this is now hitting the larger companies too. So they are no longer being insulated from this. And this means that the mom and pop shops, your, local burger joint is toast. There's no coming back from them. They're done. You'd have to straight up like outlaw the minimum wage if you wanted to give those people any chance to compete in the market. But I don't know. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Good luck in all your endeavors. Good luck in all your endeavors. You need the luck twice. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll say farewell for now. All right. Hey, Minty, what's going on? You jumping in early? Yeah, we just had a little short video. We're just bumming around here. Yeah, they done. Yeah, they're toasted. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. They're all gone. I can't even think of like a local. No, that's not true. I can think of one local joint that I think is still extant. I think still exists in my, I'll call it state. They're not actually close to me, but but they're like an institution. They're like a famous spot. And my guess is at a point, they're not going to be able to compete. Even they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? Everybody loves this sandwich place. It's, it's been around for 30, 40 years. It's been on the news a bunch of times. It's been on like, cooking shows. At a point, they'd go, yeah, we can't employ people to, make these sandwiches. We can't do it. We can't pay for them unless people are willing to pay like $20 a sandwich, which we don't want to charge because we don't think people are going to buy that. We don't think people are going to pay $20 for one of these sandwiches. So it's not a good look. It's not a good deal. Yeah. All right. So our next video is on the Vampire the Masquerade 2, Bloodlines 2, I should say. And I've just been kind of following this relatively closely, although also at a complete distance, because at this point I'm completely soured on this game. Totally. Like I just don't think it's going to be good. The fact that Paradox Interactive is, the publisher for this game, they're very clearly dictating a lot of changes. And it just, to me, just does not feel like it. I want a Bloodlines game. That's what I want. And if I'm not going to get that, I don't know if I'm going to like roll the dice on some other just vampire game. Like even the Chinese Room, I think the Chinese Room is probably a pretty decent developer. I have one of their games, it's pretty good. But if they're not like given any real creative freedom in terms of, making a completely new property that's like vampire related, or they're not rabid fans of World of Darkness and Bloodlines in particular, then I don't know if I want them, taking over, especially because they took over from people that were complete veterans. They were literally the same team that made Bloodlines 1 was making 2. I'm like, so if that's the case, I just don't think I want it. All right. Miku. I couldn't work at McDonald's. It's too hectic for me. I think that's probably a fair number of people. I think it's probably a fair number of people at this point. And like that is another issue where it's like, look, dude, a lot of these A lot of these sort of like, lower tier menial positions, they exist not really to give you any marketable skills. They exist to kind of train you in a like low risk scenario for dealing with, the pressures of work, dealing with that kind of like, you got deadlines to go, you got, people yelling, things are busy, it is hectic, it is chaotic. And, the worst thing that happens in a McDonald's is you put, somebody gets the wrong sandwich. No big deal. The sandwiches are like, basically free in terms of like the cost to make them. It's like meaningless, right? So training people in that is not a bad thing. And then you go, all right, well, hey, I worked at McDonald's. Okay, well, you know what? I think you can understand an employer looking at that and going, you didn't get any skills from that, but certainly you understand pressure. That's pretty good. I can see that you can, you know, deal with a deadline. You can deal with some kind of work pressure as opposed to, look, man, this guy's never had a job in his life. Maybe he's got incredible schooling. He's got amazing, incredible schooling. He's got the full, suite of skills that we're looking for in this position, but has never had a boss, has never been like, down to the wire. You've got to get this thing done. You've got to get this thing out. It has to be done. If that's the case, then I don't know who I like as an employer, I'm not really sure who you'd pick, you know? I'm really not sure. I can see a real legitimate argument for like, you know what, the guy who did McDonald's, at least we know they can, like take orders. At least we know that they can do this kind of stuff, and we can train them on the skills that they need. The, proving that they've got the grit and the determination to actually, stick in there every day. Yeah. My teacher was trying to get me to apply there, and I didn't want to apply there. Yeah. I mean, that's like no shame for that, to be perfectly honest. Um, yeah, it's not a big deal. I totally get it. I totally get not wanting to work at, a McDonald's or any of these specific places. All right, let's see what they say. All right, let's see what Veridark says about. Let's see what Veridark is saying about Bloodlines 2. If she's anything like me, it's not going to be good.
Paradox really thought that they could get away with day one paywall, $30 DLC, that they could get away with androgenifying all of their characters.
And also now you're playing as a lady. Pretty sure that's canon now. You have no agency in your character decision, which is, again, for some games, fine. For this game specifically, it's supposed to be an RPG. Okay, well, I'm not really able to make this character my own now because it's already there. I can make a couple cosmetic decisions about what she dresses like. Maybe. It's not great. I'm not super happy about it.
And they could get away with really removing the heart and soul of what made Bloodlines so special, and they were going to get away with it, but that did not happen. Gamers are extremely protective of their favorite franchises in games, and they will definitely voice their opinion if something looks amiss. And now Paradox has faced so much backlash.
And this is pretty crazy. The fact that they have gotten so much criticism on this, that they're actually going to kind of like back down on this stuff. Now, obviously, are they going to actually back down, or are they just going to like retool the way that they're going to like, put the screws to you as a gamer? My guess it's that. My guess is they're going to go, okay, well, we're not going to put in, this clan specific stuff. And again, I will also say, what the hell are the clans even going to be in this game? For real. Like, it's just like a generic class thing, like a cloak that you put on. There are a couple ways they could do this in the lore of the game. But to be perfectly honest, the lore of the game would be much better served with making your own character and then picking a clan based on that. But they basically just didn't want to get rid of the fact that, you could charge people for new clans. That's kind of the only reason that clans are in this game. My guess is, the actual developers of this game would have said, all right, well, if we're changing the story so that, you're one specific character, then guess what? We kind of need to just decide on what the clan is. And that's it, because that's what the lore of the game is.
Are issuing Bloodlines 2 refunds. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships.
I would say all of the same things, except I don't have any of those other than my live streams. So yes, jump in and comment. Comment on my things, subscribe to my videos, like them, all that jibber jabber. But I don't have any links in my description or Patreon. I do have a YouTube membership thing, but there's basically nothing there. So if you're doing it, I really appreciate it, but you're not getting anything out of it. Yeah, and then in the chat we got, so if you're a guy, you play as a girl, what? Yeah, that's the way it is. Although you do apparently have the voice of a man in your head. And I will also say some of the things that I see in terms of the pictures of the character, they make like this apparently female character who is just female the whole way, for sure, look super masculine. Where I'm like, oh, maybe you can play as a dude. If that's true, if you are just like a female character, if Fire is a female vampire, they've got some outfits that look straight up, she's a man. Crazy.
Game that was in development hell that is now going to be releasing in just a few short weeks, and it's facing major backlash. And really, Paradox has brought all of this upon themselves, from the character designs to removing basic RPG elements to, of course, now having to apologize and issue refunds over the paywalled clans. Now, it was insane that they decided in the first place.
And here's the other side of this. The thing that like really makes people go nuts for this was $30. $30. Like, people freaked out when they were like, hey, $5 horse armor, right? They didn't freak out that it was like, okay, this paid DLC, like the first DLC ever, was horse armor. Like a completely cosmetic bullcrap DLC. And it's like, okay, you made us pay extra for that. Okay, fine. $5 for this though? Like a bad texture pack. That's it. This took like one guy a day of work. And you're gonna try to get like thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to pay $5 for this? No, come on. It's ridiculous. $30 for this clan DLC stuff, which is like, it's already done. It's already in the game. And it is literally just like a set of, parameters that, again, you've already programmed. They're already there. There's no extra work going into this. And let's be totally honest here. This is not a multiplayer game where, you needed to balance things out really super minutely to retain some kind of experience of the game. No, you can have like completely busted, overpowered characters. You don't need to be spending an amount of time tweaking the variables of like how much damage each ability does. So, to be perfectly honest, the clans in this game are not going to cost an enormous amount of labor and man hours. So trying to extract $30 on top of the fact that it's already like a $60, $70 game probably. So what? This is like a $90 base game for everything in it? That's insane. And people are like, no, like I'd rather not play this game. If you're trying to work me over like this, if you're really trying to extract this much money from me, like you probably don't have a good game. You probably have a game that you're thinking, this is not going to sell well after that initial, release. So we got to grab as much as humanly possible because we're not getting cult status, a year down the line and people are still buying this stuff. This is not going to be the next Skyrim where like people will be happily rebuy this game down the line when we release it for like, another system or something like that. It's not going to happen. So we got to kind of just, work the people who are fans of this game as hard as possible. Ugh.
To do this or try to get away with it. It's like they thought people would just shut up and consume content. There are a lot of developers in the industry who believe that that will happen, but it really never does anymore. Gamers are willing to fight back against something if they don't like it. And hey, I guess it's technically good that they listened, but it's probably because pre-orders were trash. So it says Shadows and Silk was initially set to cost $21.99 separately and was included as part of the premium pre-order edition of the game. But in response to a wave of backlash, Paradox has confirmed that it's making some adjustments to that paywall. While we still don't quite know what that entails, a new post confirms that we'll get an update soon, while also stating that it's issuing refunds to anyone who bought the premium edition on the PlayStation Store.
Now, I will say the last thing that I heard from this was that, yeah, the only refunds are being issued to people on the PlayStation Store. I would imagine it's going to be for everything else, and maybe PlayStation just allows them to file that stuff faster. But, I mean, it's stupid. It's a bad business decision. It's insane that they did this in the first case, you know? Yeah. Imagine like a kid raging about this stuff.
Paradox in the Chinese room said
yeah,
that they're making
I don't see it.
significant changes that involve many moving parts. Confirmed on both the Bloodlines 2 and World of Darkness discords by community developers Debbie Lane, a full update regarding the changes is coming on September 17th. We are working hard on the adjustments that we promised, and we will be able to tell you all of the details on September 17th. Making significant changes like this involves many moving parts, and we want to make sure that we get it right with this change. Yeah, because if you
Press X to doubt. I mean, this is not a significant change. This is like literally we're taking a thing off the marketplace and we're just adding it in. I really don't think there's anything significant here that they actually would need to do. And certainly, like, all right, maybe it'll take a minute for them to actually like do it because there's forms and processes they have to do. But in terms of like telling you what you're gonna do, they could do it now. They do not need to do this. They just want to see if like this stuff's gonna die down in a couple weeks, or like they release a couple new trailers and like the hype gets a little bit more. If they can grab a couple more streamers to play some of these, demos that they've got. I think Co Carnage played like a 2-hour demo and he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's its own thing. It's pretty cool. It's like BioShock or Dishonored." And I'm like, okay, like those are fine games. They turned crappy. I mean, obviously, once the publishers got involved in, pushing how they wanted these games to be, is Dishonored 2 as good as Dishonored 1? How about like, BioShock? What happened with that? Did I think the what was it? The Ken Levine, the developer of that game, I think he like walked away from those things, didn't he? Because the publisher wanted him to do certain things and he was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." So it looks like Paradox, the publisher, is already super involved in this. So my guess is if it's going to be like BioShock or Dishonored, it's going to be like canceled BioShock game or Dishonored 2, the game that people didn't like in that series, as opposed to, the first games that were creatively interesting.
You are absolutely screwed. I believe that there are still going to be a lot of people who are not going to purchase this on release. They're going to wait for potentially a sale. They're going to wait for a couple of months or maybe even years until they finally feel like, you know what, it's at a right price. And from what we've seen so far, it hasn't gone over particularly smoothly. Now, this is a game I was excited for, but I wouldn't say it's a game that I'm jumping to play. And I feel like that's the general consensus. I think that they've made a lot of very questionable decisions.
And it's also, I mean, I was in probably a slightly more excited state because I really like Bloodlines. So I was more interested in this game back when it was first announced, or the last thing that we heard about it 5 years ago. But the fact that it's been 5 years since we've heard anything about it makes me way more hesitant to think that this is going to be a good game. Again, I've mentioned Cyberpunk 2077 being like a really decent analogy for this game, where we hear about this and it's like, oh, this looks so cool. And it's from like a cool developer. And then there's delays, and then there's like behind the scenes studio stuff going on. and you're just going like, "Ooh, okay, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good." Um, do I wanna roll the dice on this? I don't wanna do that.
with character designs and kind of modernizing this series. And it's unfortunate that it doesn't really seem to have the same flair as the first game. I know that there was a significant amount of time between these two games, which is
Huge.
probably why it ended up feeling so disjointed from the first. But at that point, why?
Well, so one other thing that I will mention why it feels so different is because they've totally changed the game. They've completely changed the game. The time in between certainly works against them, but they brought back initially all of the people that were like creative directors, the writers of the original game. They brought them all in for Bloodlines 2 when they first started making it. And that's why everyone was very, very excited about it because it meant, okay, we're going to be getting a real sequel to this game. Not just, something totally different that's supposed to be set in the same world or has the same title. Now they've changed that. Now the Chinese Room is developing it. And I don't have anything specifically against the Chinese Room other than to say they're kind of like a newer studio. And because of that, I don't know if they have the chutzpah, if they have the metal to go up against a really huge developer like Paradox Interactive, or if they're kind of like, you know what, we kind of have to play ball with these guys. We'll try to make creative decisions when we can, but we can't fight them on everything because they clearly are willing to ditch a team and go for somebody else if they're not telling them what they want. And that does mean that, guess what? You're probably going to get a game that is more kind of developed by the publishers than, the creative developers that was the thing that made it really cool because it was so different. Now, by trying to make it more appealing to everybody, they wash all of that stuff out and it makes the property less colorful, less interesting, and certainly less authentic. And it just means that the people that were, out there who had never heard about it before are like maybe kind of interested in it because it just looks like, something that's generally likable. But it also means that nobody's going to be rabid about it. No one is going to be like losing their minds because it's more bland. There's nothing for anyone to really latch onto and make it like their obsession. In the same way that like World of Darkness, the tabletop included, but Bloodlines 2 specifically, it's going to be more bland. It's going to be more just for all ages, for everybody. And that means that the people that were your rabid fan base that were going to buy, your super insanely, like $300 special editions, they're not going to do that anymore. They're going to go, okay, I'll get the base game. I'll maybe spend $60 on it, and I'm probably going to, I'm going to probably, try to do something that gets me down. Yeah, we'll see. And apparently I'm lagging and freezing up. I hope the video comes out okay.
I even release it, except for the fact that you can bank off of the nostalgia and the love that the first game had, but I don't see a way that this sequel is going to live up to people's expectations. It says, though, that she states that Paradox is issuing refunds to PlayStation customers who bought the premium edition of the game, with compensation rolling out from Monday, September 8th. Players will be able to pre-order again later down the line. Anyone who pre-ordered this edition through the PlayStation Store will be contacted and refunded. So they could always charge less for it. They could end up just adding it to all editions. They could do what they should have in the first place, which is just add these clans to the game for everybody who plays it and actually allow people to unlock the clans that they want to use. Like, it really shouldn't have been that hard of a decision to go in that direction in the first place. The fact that they didn't think that they were going to face severe backlash backlash over this is absolutely fucking mind-blowing. Just adding $30 day one DLC itself was controversial enough. Never mind the fact that you're locking basic RPG features and really clans that people were the most excited for behind a paywall is absolute lunacy, and they really did deserve all of the backlash that they got. But this is not the only reason this game has been facing backlash. Of course, just the gameplay itself hasn't particularly gone over well with people.
Yeah, the fact that it's now like an FPS, the fact that it is now essentially, again, like a BioShock, Dishonored, those are good games, but there's other games like that out there. In fact, a lot of games are reminiscent of that. So, I mean, do I want to be playing that in my World of Darkness game? Like, no, I want like, I would be rather that this was like a CRPG, like a top-down Baldur's Gate type game, more so than, you know, a first-person action adventure. I'm punching and shooting, you know, like blood shards at people. Because, like, it just doesn't make any sense, especially in a Vampire the Masquerade game. If you know anything about the lore is like, as vampires, we're trying to be super secretive. So using your talents, your disciplines in public or just anywhere that anybody could see it is like massively frowned upon. And then also, it should cost you a lot to be doing those things. Like your blood pool is really limited. And you should not be using your vampiric powers all the time. It's just like, and then there's like a feed mechanic, which is again like literally the Doom. You're jumping in and like you're doing like a brutality fatality health. It's like, I don't want like a fast paced shooter in my vampire RPG game. I want my RPG in my RPG game. Okay, like I don't understand how people don't understand this.
This is the pre-order trailer from just 2 weeks ago. It's got 88,000 views. It's sitting at 3.1k likes and 3.6k dislikes, so it is being negatively ratioed, and it's not the biggest ratio by any means, but there are a hell of a lot of criticisms having to do with the character designs, the atmosphere, and also just the level of quality for a game that has been in development for such a long time. You'd think that it would be
insane.
A little bit better looking. It just feels very rushed. Nothing feels very polished, and maybe it's because they went for quantity over quality. Maybe it's going to be an extremely long game, but it's going to just have this lesser quality level. That's not really what gamers want to see, though. And if you start looking at the comments, I mean, yeah, people are voicing their dissatisfaction. Imagine only having 4 clans and then paywalling 2 behind the deluxe edition as day one DLC. Something tells me I should wait till the reviews of this game have gone through the ringer. Now I'm really giving this game the side eye, seeing that they are locking clans behind the day one DLC. I'm getting a very strong unfinished vibe from.
Yeah, I mean, it's giving me Cyberpunk 2077 launch vibes, especially because it's like it's coming out so soon. They're just like, again, it was announced that it's coming out like maybe a month ago, like a couple weeks ago, it feels like. And now it's coming out, I think, like next month. So it feels like they just need to rush this out. They need to bang it out before their end of quarter so that they can get a game out. Like, that'd be my guess. So my guess is it's going to be like also not only, you know, all of the elements that we're mentioning that are bad from just like a pure gameplay, you know, decision-making aspect, but also my guess is it's going to be like bad playing. Like, there's going to be a lot of glitches, there's going to be a lot of lag, there's going to be a lot of, you know, game-breaking bugs. That'd be my guess here.
This one. Make an RPG game, remove a bunch of RPG elements. Why even bother? In-game purchases, a massive red flag on a game not even out. So let me get this straight. No equipable weapons, no character creator, only 4 clans, 2 paywalled.
I haven't heard that. No equipable weapons. That pisses me off so bad. That is the kind of stuff that just absolutely means like, okay, so like, Like that's this like that turned me off of like BioShock Infinite. Like there's no weapons that have any personality. You have no like items that give you any kind of like attachment to the world. And that also means that it's like, okay, so like is there gonna be like money in the game? Is there gonna be anything that like allows you to accrue resources? To again have like any sort of like stake in the game of like doing well or badly. Yeah, they need to fix the problem before they release the game. I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice.
This doesn't feel like a sequel at all. This
No.
looks more like a Redfall DLC than a sequel to Bloodlines. And there are some
Yeah.
criticisms here about the character designs. Now, we've been talking about this for a very long time. If you look at this image, can you truly tell just
Okay.
by a
So maybe okay, so it's entirely possible now that I was wrong, but the article that I read was, you're playing as a female Fire. Now maybe I had mentioned this as a possibility. Fire could just be like V in Cyberpunk, where in which it's just the name that they gave the characters so that their voice actors could call you by a name. I get it. That's a possibility. And this is kind of making me think that. Although I will say, again, like the difference between these two, it doesn't sound like you have character customization. And if that's the case, that I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
quick glance which one is the male and female? Obviously, you can tell if you really start looking and paying
Oof.
attention. Like the one on the left is a little bit wider, where the one on the right is a little bit slimmer. The one on the right has a very slight chest, even though you can barely tell. And yeah, these are the male and female.
I will also say, if I'm just looking at this, it feels like the arms are like literally exactly the same. Like are they the same length? I feel like they're the same length, kind of. Maybe like slight. I don't know. I literally have to get like a ruler out. It feels like the arms are exactly the same length. They also look almost identical in width. Yeah. Very odd. Very strange. At least Genshin Impact lets you pick a boy or girl and lets you equip any weapon you want. This game sounds rigged. They both look like males. I mean, they do. Let's be dead honest here. They both totally do.
Now options in this game, which is basically just the female option in Bloodlines 2 is a guy, but skinnier. This has infuriated a lot of people. Then if you really start looking at their faces, it's also not particularly good. I don't think that all of these character faces are god-awful, but again, they went for like this very androgynous character design choice. And I mean, I've talked about
maybe
it
I'm
in
wrong
the
here.
past.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Were
There are
banning people.
Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong. And you know what? It's just like they want to make a character that looks basically exactly the same in their trailer cutscenes. That's a possibility. That's a possibility, and that would make me understand why, when I saw the trailers, there were some where the character looked like a dude and some of them like a woman, and I was like, all right, well, like, what's going on? Like, where? I don't understand. Yeah, but I mean, I will also say, like, dude, I don't care if my Far Cry 5, 6 first-person shooter who I never see in the game has some sort of, like, character customization or has some, like, gear that basically just is a complete, like, cosmetic change. I'm like, "No, I want, like, armor that, like, gives me different stats. I wanna be able to build out a different character." I want my RPG elements.
Because of the criticisms, the community manager melted down and banned gamers from forums for criticizing these types of designs, which isn't a good freaking look.
No, that's bad.
And heading on over to this thread, there are tons of people saying that ain't no woman. It's a man. Isn't it like really sexist at this point? I mean, what do these developers have against women that they refuse to portray them in games? They are good at helping me save my money. We're down to body type A and body type A variant now. These people just absolutely hate women. Which one's the guy here? They're both vegan. A tough thing to deal with when you're a vampire. I'm seeing a very boring looking venture there. That's aside. If I can't make a Malkavian like Jeanette, I'm rioting. Which
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Malkavian is not an option as a clan in the game. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Which you cannot make any sort of character in this game look anything
No,
like
you
her.
can't.
That's for shit sure.
There's no doubt about that.
This dog shit should have been shelved immediately after Mitsoda
That's the
and
guy.
Avalon got the boot. Yeah, I also
Mhm.
think that that is a very big problem that they started giving people the boot, and they must have at that point changed the direction of this game severely. So, of course, I'll
Mhm.
definitely be keeping my eye on Bloodlines 2, but as of right now, it's not looking good. They're facing so much backlash that they're having to backtrack, which technically is good, but it only happened because they faced backlash and they didn't apologize. It's basically like a, oh, all right, we need these people to shut up and swipe their credit cards, so we'll change it, instead of feeling
Mhm.
genuine and feeling
We'll
like
see if
they
they actually we'll see if they actually change it also.
cared about our feedback. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm following this. Some of the stuff in this video, I'll be honest, was new information to me, or like, you know, maybe it was clarifying some stuff, which makes me think, all right, some of the criticism that I have was not 100% totally valid. I will say the main things that I was looking at are definitely kind of being confirmed here. That this is going to be a game where in which the customization options are just all cosmetic. They have no real bearing on how you would play the game. That is not good to me. I don't like that. I was always, 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 always going to dislike a game that watered down the aspects of, you know, a game that I enjoy. And I'm probably at this point not really going to buy it. It's giving me like Far Cry 6 vibes, where in which this is going to be like a highly marketed game that they're trying to push out. You're probably going to see a lot of commercials for this game because they want to sell it. But my guess is if you buy it, you're going to regret it. And if you do not, you know, refund it before you lose your trial period for it, you're going to be like, I lost $60. I just basically burned $60. I'm not coming back to this game to play it. That happened to me with Far Cry 6. Yeah. Chat saying they feel bad for people who bought that. I do too. Apparently, you can refund some stuff, and hopefully this applies to everyone eventually. But I'm not really sure. Do let me know what you think about in the comments. Does Bloodlines 2, you know, look any good? Is anything going to sell you on this game? For me, I don't think so. Good luck in all your endeavors. Looks like you're going to need it. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll say farewell for now. Alrighty. Now let's see if me not recording helps out with my frame rate issues, because I do actually see that I'm dropping frames. I do actually see that. We'll see if it affected the recording and stuff. But for right now, I don't like it. I don't like the looks of this. It looks like it's going to be a problem. All right. Now from here, we're going to stuff that we've actually not done anything with before, which is we're going into bakery videos. I like some of these videos. I'll be honest. I just enjoy watching people make like desserts and stuff. I like people these types of like eater videos or these things. They're very cool. They're very soothing. And to be perfectly honest, again, I've got like 1,000 ASMR videos on my channel. So I know a lot of people that would be tuning into me are probably going to be doing it thinking that, you know, even if they've seen some of like my more recent content, which is not ASMR specifically, um, a lot of people are probably going to jump in and go, oh, well, maybe he's doing that kind of stuff now, which, you know, I feel like we could probably move a little bit more in that direction, and I could probably try to be a little bit more soothing. Makes sense for the time period because it's like, you know, it's early in the morning for me, so I imagine most people that are getting on there. Yeah, hey, I can't say anything. I do watch ASMR. Yeah, I watch. I was gonna say I watch it. I don't watch it nearly as much. I'll have like one video or something that's just like background noise that I watch when I'm reading, you know, when I'm going to sleep. So it's more like I listen to it than watch it. But, you know, it's all good stuff. And I will say again, that's the majority of the stuff on my channel. So I feel like I need to strike some kind of a balance between that old stuff and this newer stuff and try to make a better kind of like mix, something that's like a little bit more soothing, a little bit more relaxing, as opposed to, I don't know, because I'm not like I don't have a personality that's massively like exuberant. I'm not super high energy all the time. You know, like I can be a little bit like hyper or something like that, but it doesn't come across as like, you know, in your face, get revved up, get pumped up. So, you know, we might be looking at some other stuff like that. So right now, this is a video I have not seen yet. This is the most exciting new bakery in America. Is hiding in New Orleans. The Experts. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. And maybe I'll even try to speak in a more soft-spoken voice. I don't know if I can do it off the top of my head. I haven't done it in a while.
This is our sweet claw. We run a sweet and a savory claw. The alligator claws are the newest addition to our menu. They mimic like a bear claw, but they are representative of the South. For this one, it's toasted pecans that are chopped, marzipan filling, starting from the side that Jen's working on, just closing the...
Now, I always try to remember, marzipan is like an almond, kind of like, I always feel like it's like an icing almost. I'm literally going to look it up. I'm literally going to look it up. All right, let me go. I do not want to use Brave. Whatever. Marzipan. Let's check you out. All right, marzipan. Almond paste. Okay. Sugar and almonds. It's a confection consisting primarily of sugar and almond meal. Okay. That's kind of what I thought, but I didn't think it was just sugar. So it's like almond, it's like a super sweet almond butter. Okay. Okay. And that is kind of what it looks like here. Like a whipped almond butter. That's why it's light. And then you have a lot of sugar in there. So it like it kind of creams it. Like you would cream a stick of butter before you made cookies.
Alligator claws shut, and then we'll follow up with like cutting the tails. And then you're topping it with poppy seeds and the alligator pepper spice. We're gonna kind of assembly line the alligator pepper spice. It has sort of like a Szechuan pepper, like tongue-numbing feeling sensation.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like the pepper, like peppers can be good with sweet stuff, but you kind of do have to be very specific. It can't be anything like the flavor of the pepper really has to actually like accent the sweetness, because if you just add stuff like that, you very much easily run into the sort of like the sweet heat thing, which I like, but it lends itself to savory more than sweet.
It's from Cameroon. It's like you almost can't really taste it, but if you get a good chunk of it, you're gonna know that it's there. It's supposed to be the one item that is seasonal, but I don't really know how else you can change it and make it seasonal. It's kind of perfect.
That is cute.
Lagniappe is a Creole term that we use here in Louisiana to mean a little something extra. It is kind of the perfect word to describe what we do here, but I think when we're talking about food, for a lot of New Orleanians, the dessert is always lagniappe. I'm from New Orleans. My partner is from Cameroon, from West Africa. We have found a lot of parallels and similarities both in our cuisine and our culture, and
makes sense.
Trying to honor.
Makes sense, because a lot of like New Orleans cuisine was from you know, like very traditional, I don't know what you want to call it, like slave African cuisine. You know, there's a lot of overlap there. All right, what's that? God damn, that looks so good.
These ingredients through the pastries that we're working with.
Yeah, a lot of these look super good.
That's 504, and we are loading in all the viennoiserie for the morning. That includes the plain chocolate, the pain au chocolat. This chunk of time is important because in about an hour, everything's just going to start coming out. Boom, 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 boom. So if you miss, you know, even 15 minutes, it will kind of set you back.
Get something like that.
Was it off?
Making me hungry.
Cool. That's the fun part about being in a house. Things are tripping. We joke about it. We have a friendly ghost here. Her name is Eunice, and
I mean, that is like, again, like this is one of those things. Like New Orleans is like a really pretty town, just because all of the architecture is, you know, super old. But the other side of that is like, bro, all of these houses, everything, everywhere you go, it's like, oh yeah, this is, you know, it's like a 200-year-old building. It's gorgeous. It's incredible. It does mean that there's going to be rats like everywhere, which again, I don't know. Depends on where you're from, where it's like it's a big deal or not. But it's like, yeah, like you're on like the docks, you're in a swamp, and all of these houses are like hundreds of years old because you can't like build new stuff there because of a lot of like regulation and stuff. But I mean, it makes the city look nice. It really does.
she's been holding us up since day one.
Oh my God.
Sometimes she's like, nah, I gotta make sure you're awake. So sometimes the pooper might trip. But everything's set in the pooper now. We're gonna go upstairs as we're waiting for our bean food. So I'm working on the corn muffin now. This is one of our signature items that we run only during corn season. I'm gonna sift this, then we're gonna add our wets into here, and then we'll add our corn last. I'm testing it today. We're gonna bring it back on the menu next week. But I just want to make sure that is good. It's been a minute, you know. Even from when I started the pop-up, there's always been an emphasis on highlighting local seasonal ingredients. Hyper local, but corn is very beautiful, and it's something that I grew up eating a lot of. I wanted it to be some component without it just being cornbread. I grew up
Okay, so they're doing
Jiffy
full
cornbread box, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so they're using like the full fresh corn kernels. That's interesting. In like a cornbread kind of a corn muffin type deal. I could see that. I mean, because you want your cornbread, you want it moist, and that would definitely add extra, you know, liquid.
I love Jiffy cornbread. That was sort of the basis for it. Now I am lining the muffin liners with the corn husk. This is gonna maintain all the moisture and just like be very delicious in that way. It peels off so easily from the corn husk rather than a muffin liner. You think about when you peel off a cupcake, you gotta get some of that crumb outside of that. That's what I want. Like I want to have that entire thing. It's a little crispy on the bottom. Also, it does bake differently from like a dehydrated corn muffin liner versus a fresh one. Corner.
I can see that. Yeah. Makes sense.
So I'm finishing these off with some turbinado sugar before they go in the oven. They'll go in for 15 or so minutes.
Yeah, so you're gonna get like kind of a crispy top potentially.
So we're getting started on the first round of the bake-off. This is our makeshift egg wash machine. It's great just because it gives an even spray. We use the machine for efficiency and consistency, and then get these pastry pucks. One is a pastry cream puck, one is a sweet potato puck. The more I feel like I can standardize the efficiency and the cleanliness of everything, the easier it will be to scale up. The pastry cream will get finished with some jam and shakes, and then the sweet potato will get finished with collard greens. This collard green one is like been a staple. It's really delicious. So I'm pulling the corn muffins now. Right when these come out the oven, they go onto the cooling tray. They sit in this muffin pan too long, they'll get a little soggy. The corn muffins have cooled. If they don't cool enough, the butter's just gonna melt. So you really have to be patient with this. I'm gonna pipe some of the honey butter on. This is Plugra butter, Acadiana honey, so local honey, a little bit of salt. And then we pipe them sort of like a half moon crescent shape on top, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. Butter and cornbread are like a match made in heaven. Like they are meant to be a marriage together. We just finished piping all these on. We're gonna taste another one before it goes out. I think what I like about it is
oh man, this guy's like, all right, give me that butter.
I think more honey in the honey butter. Yeah. I kind of like the idea of adding Maldon salt on top. I think a few more tweaks on the base recipe for it, but otherwise it's pretty solid. Lino and I
mean, the corn husk is very pretty on it. We'll be totally honest. The corn husk is very pretty on it. But again, I'm like I will say, like I've seen like I always forget what they're. Is it empanadas that are like in the corn husks? I've seen them in like the grocery stores and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know why I want this in the corn husk. Like, give me something else.
Between front of house and back of house, Lena's running the coffee program and making sure that the case maintains its integrity. I'm running back of
Gotcha, my
house,
goodness,
doing
man.
all of the pastry. We work a lot maintaining the integrity and consistency of things and getting more efficient. So this is the Grains of Paradise. It's one of our signature items on the menu. Cinnamon sugar filled. It's our take on like a cardamom bun. This is standard like yeasted dough, and it has the filling already in it. Nina sheeted it out, spread the filling, and then sort of like folded it together. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks,
like
yeah, it looks like a cinnamon roll almost. Like if you rolled it, it's a cinnamon
a
roll.
laminated layer of filling and dough, and then now we're just gonna spread it thin so that we can cut it into strips.
Okay.
This was definitely
Are they gonna
inspired
roll it?
by like Swedish cardamom bun, that sort of style, like
oh, yeah,
a
no.
twisted roll. These get twisted in some way that I cannot explain. Other than that, they get like a double twist around your fingers and then a double twist in front. And this is just our personal stylistic choice of shaping them like this. But I think the fun part too, your sort of like initiation into training and working here is to practice shaping them. But everyone has their own sort of way of doing it, and you can also tell who's shaped which ones because they're slightly different, but we're trying to make sure they're all exactly the same.
Yeah.
If they're tinier, it's because someone has little tiny hands.
Small hands.
And it's really cute.
So
Grain of
we wrapped up
Paradise.
that first batch. We're gonna get started on maybe the veau croissant now. The veau croissant is our take on a lattice sausage-filled pastry, something that you may find that might be like a pigs in a blanket, but with croissant instead. These are the most complicated item on the menu, I think,
Really?
to put together. We have tried different variations of it in terms of shaping it, but what
That's hilarious. For like a pigs in a blanket, they're like, yeah, this is our most technically challenging to put together and assemble. That's crazy.
working best right now is the one that's probably the most complicated version. Cutting individual rectangles and then making a sandwich out of it, essentially. Veau Croissant is now a 4th-generation Creole sausage maker in New Orleans. We do Creole mustard sausage.
Oh,
When
that's a
I
lot of
was interested
mustard.
in doing this, I was R&D'ing it down the street from Veau
That's a lot of mustard. Ooh, what's corn husks? It's like the so if you ever had like corn on the cob, this is the thing they come in. Like when you rip it off, the like the leaves that are surrounding the ear of corn. And then a lot of other cultures, a lot of like Mexican cultures in general, they'll use that for like their baking, like steaming. They wrap a lot of stuff in those corn husks. They just leave them out to dry, and then they'll dip them in water to soak them so that they get a little bit more pliable, and then you'll wrap up whatever you're gonna make. So you're gonna have like again, I forget what is in like the empanadas, but you can have stuff like any kind of like meal, like cornmeal. You can make like a bread, like a pastry type thing, beans, meat. If it's all mixed together, and then they'll wrap it in a corn husk, fold it up, and then they'll put it in like a steaming basket, and that's how they cook it. And then like you unwrap it, and that's what you eat. But you don't eat the husk.
Croissant, and I walked over there and I was just like, I'm planning on doing this thing, and like I'm gonna test something.
Now that is, like I said, it was a ton of mustard. However, some mustard's like super, super pungent. If you get some like really good stone ground brown mustard, you're actually like, you know what? A good amount of mustard's okay.
For you, and I'm gonna bring it back, and I didn't tell him what it was, and I came back and he was just like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life with the sausage. Like, holy heck, what did you do?
That does
The
look
technique
good.
is to not smush in, but you want the layers to meet together to like kiss.
That's a
And
lot
it's
of
one thing that,
pastry.
like, my fingers are sort of like flipping
that's
like
that's
this, as opposed
thick.
to just like pressing and pinching. I'm really making sure that the pastry is closed so that these two layers are side by side and not smushed.
Gotcha.
So it's 7:30. We have our huddle in 15 minutes. This is the time of the morning when we're trying to get the last little finishing
that?
on. Taz is putting orange zest on the grains.
Like some peanut
Nina's
butter.
about to do the
Jelly
second
sandwich.
part of the veau croissant. This is the hot sausage. I think that's kind of where we are. There's a lot
See,
going
like,
on
okay.
between 6 to 7, really 6 to 8, and even into the 9 a.m.
Those
time.
cookies
All
or
the
those, like,
baking is
sausages?
happening. Nigel's coming in with our coffee. This is also a very important part of the morning.
It's the most important
important part of the morning.
This is actually the most important part of the morning.
We are not alive.
Yeah, as the barista's dialing in the coffee for the morning. Kitchen, thank you.
Thank you.
Yay! Kitchen gets our coffees.
Cheers, Lena.
Cheers.
she's still working.
I always get a
That girl
cortado
can't.
every morning. This is the best part of the morning. I'm not gonna lie. We knew opening in the beginning where we sort of wanted to foreshadow into the next 5 years, but of course that changes when you open. But I think where I see myself personally is to continue to invest in the city, and I think what has become an important part of the work that I'm doing
Yum,
personally
it looking so good.
is sort of like honoring the women that have come before me that have made New Orleans what it is. When a guest comes in, I want it to feel like a safe space where you can feel comfortable, you can sit down, have your meeting, or sit outside and like sit under this beautiful tree that is telling so many stories. I want people to feel like they have.
I wanna see if they show, like,
community
how much
here,
seating
whether
area
it's
they
small or
have.
big, and
Because I mean, like it's clearly like a cafe kind of thing, but for me, it looks like they've got to be, again, it's like 3 levels, so they've got to have like a large portion of like their prep work on like the second floor, and then they probably have like a basement, maybe not, I don't know, to do their stuff. Because I mean, like those houses in New Orleans can be pretty big. They're pretty deep. Even if they're not super wide, they're pretty deep. So like they have a decent amount of square footage. But, just from looking at what they're doing here, I would imagine they don't have a lot of like seating area. I doubt you could really be in there for a long time without feeling like you're taking up space from other people.
New Orleans and in Central City. I just want them to leave feeling full of really good pastries.
Yeah, like that looks like it's on the second floor for sure. So you didn't see it. And they probably do have some outdoor seating area stuff. But that's interesting. I kind of do like it. All right, obviously we now have to watch way more of these. I had Pigs in a Blanket was good. I haven't made them in school. They are good. They are definitely good. I like them. What was the other thing I was going to do? There was like one other place. Oh yeah, I gotta check the what was it? Yeah, it's this one. This is like I watch this video like every once in a while. It's like the it's this cannoli video. I don't know why, but it just yeah. This is like, it's one of those videos that's like, I really want to travel to go here. I don't even really like cannoli. I legit, I think it's a completely like overrated dessert. You're welcome to fight me on this. And if you like it, you like it. I don't care. But for me, like the people that like just go, oh my God, cannoli. Oh, the cannoli is so good. I'm like, I've never had a really good cannoli then, apparently, because every single time I've had it, I'm like, this is okay. I can just eat the cream. The shell is like, not very good. And if you have to have it insanely fresh, if it has to be like a fresh fried cannoli, then I'm like, your dessert's not that good, okay? Because obviously every dessert is going to be better if it's fresh, okay? But, like a donut, it's at its best when it's warm, when it's right out of the, fryer. But the next day, if you have that same donut, you can throw it in the microwave for, 10 seconds, and it's like 95 to 99% as good as if, you got it fresh right out the oven and ate it right there. Super good. And even if you don't, it's still like a couple hours later, you eat it, and it's like even a little stale, it's still good. Cannoli then apparently is like, if it's terrible when it's not fresh, and it's like, oh, the crispiness isn't there in the shell, I'm like, then it's like it's a garbage dessert. But my dad really likes them, so I'd be like, this would be a cool thing if I could I don't know, take him there or something like that. Yeah, you shouldn't waste mustard.
È, diciamo, il dolce più famoso in tutto il mondo.
Whoa.
E le persone entrando nel
Yeah. I don't know if anyone can read this, but I'll be honest.
Parve con gli occhi guardano e dicono
Let me see.
ma non ci sono cannoli?
Yeah, you can see it.
Si riempie sul momento, è espresso come il caffè.
Like a coffee.
Siamo rimasti
Those look
pochi
pretty good.
borghi dove ancora questo cannolo viene lavorato a mano, artigianalmente, fritta nello
Artigianalmente.
frutto con il bambù di legno.
Yeah. Fried in lard. Nicola and Luca Petta, the father-son team behind Extra Bar, a bakery and espresso bar located in the Sicilian village of Piana degli Albanesi. Ooh. I mean, those look pretty good. Got that artisanal cannoli
Dal
with the candied orange
1954,
peel.
dove titolare mio padre con il mio nonno
Oh,
tirava i pantaloni a mio padre nel laboratorio perché voleva vedere come si facevano questi cannoli.
it's
Mio figlio è
adorable.
molto bravo perché lo sente che questo è per lui, diciamo, la sua professione.
Abbiamo un vino rosato, cioè 3/4 di vino
Okay, so is rosé just a mix of red wine and white wine? Or like I always thought it was its own specific thing. Like you have like it comes out of the barrel as rosé. Like maybe you mix it in terms of like, you know, white grapes and red grapes beforehand. Or I always kind of figured it was like, if I'm going to be totally honest, I kind of thought it was like a pink grape, like it was a specific kind of grape, like a rosé grape. But maybe it's a mix, which is hilarious.
vino bianco, 1/4 di vino rosso. Ci sono pasticcerie che utilizzano per esempio l'aceto, liquori tipo il marsala, il brandy, ma nella nostra pasticceria si utilizza solo ed
Only use
esclusivamente
wine.
Mi piacerebbe veramente dirvi la
ma
ricetta,
no.
ma purtroppo è una ricetta che si tramanda di generazione in generazione. Faceva mio nonno, le ha fatte mio padre, adesso li faccio io. Ed è una ricetta appunto segreta che non verrà mai svelata. Adesso aggiungeremo lo zucchero.
The sugar
e
and
lo
lard.
strutto. La particolarità dello strutto è che deve essere uno
Unrefined
strutto
lard.
poco raffinato, che appunto rende la buccia, anch'essa, come il vino, friabile. Ogni parte della Sicilia fa il suo cannolo e ognuno utilizza degli ingredienti particolari. Ci siamo tenuti più sulla nostra tradizione, ovvero di usare
Wine, sugar,
solamente
lard, and flour. I gotta be honest, dude. This is making me hungry. I want to get something to eat. Yeah, go ahead, man. Get something to eat. Go ahead, get something to eat. Yeah. But I mean, to be perfectly honest here, man, if he can't tell us the recipe, he's like, okay, we got wine, sugar, lard, and flour. Okay, well then, like, I kind of feel like we have the recipe, dude. Because, like, we can easily measure out how much wine. You told us what kind of wine it is. You had one? You had some food? All right. Okay. But don't go crazy. It was bussing. Well, that's good. I'm glad it was good. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like we could just add flour and like make this kind of cannoli.
vino, zucchero, strutto e farina. Questi sono 5 kg di farina.
5 kilos of flour. So like again, like you're telling us exactly what to do.
Per esempio chi dice che il cannolo risale
What? Yeah, like here's the thing, man. Like you've given us your secret family recipe. I can make this secret family recipe. All right. I'm not going to because it would be insanely difficult and I don't have bamboo sticks and I don't have a giant fryer. And also, like I said, I don't really like cannolis. But yeah, I feel like we could, we can figure it out.
agli antichi romani. L'unico scritto che ci è pervenuto è un testo di Cicerone nel 60 a.C. dove racconta che in un suo viaggio in Sicilia aveva assaggiato un tubo
The
farinaceo.
funniest part is I got to make my own cannoli, and when I finished, I sucked the icing out of it. Yeah, dude, like it's the best part. I don't really care for the shells. Again, like maybe if they're super fresh, like you get them the day they're fried or like, really close to when they're fried. And I mean, I even get them like, I guess like we have like a kind of place, it's not close, but they're like kind of famous for their cannolis. We get them so that they're not filled and you kind of keep it, yeah, like you keep it as you know, dry as possible or whatever. It's like they always turn bad. Like they're not like they're always like not stale, but they're always like squishy. You know, they absorb some water really quickly, and they're not very good. I just like, yeah, I'm not. I've never had a really super good one. I can't understand what they're saying. How did you read it that well? I'd be stuttering. Well,
Con
a
un
lot
cibo
of
di
practice.
latte. Facciamo la
Yeah.
media.
Can you read? Yeah, can like you see what they're can you read the text? Because obviously they're all speaking Italian, like very clearly. I can read it out, but you know, I don't want to be talking over them. It's kind of like just a lot of noise.
Media di 1.200-1.500 al giorno. Il massimo che abbiamo fatto in un giorno è stato
2,500 was the max.
2.500. Questo è
That's a
il
lot, dude.
risultato dell'impasto, cioè non deve essere un impasto liscio.
Ooh.
Deve essere un impasto
Yeah, that's a really
grezzo.
like shaggy.
Si sente l'odore del vino. Magari mi sto pure ubriacando un poco.
Typical Italian at
Quindi
work.
adesso l'impasto è pronto.
But it
Adesso
does stay
andrà a
together.
riposare in frigorifero
Ok.
per almeno un'ora.
Less than an
Adesso è arrivato
hour.
il momento di preparare uno degli ingredienti principali. Noi utilizziamo una ricotta di pecora fresca.
Yeah, like this is the thing where it's like, you know, you can't replicate this. You get fresh, raw sheep ricotta. Like you can't replicate that. I feel like you could, I don't want to say easily, but you could definitely make their shell. But you're not gonna be able to make their filling.
grezza. La ricotta di pecora ha la particolarità rispetto a quella di mucca è meno grassa. Questa è una ricotta di pecora che viene da qua, da Piana degli Albani.
I thought ricotta had to be sheep. I thought it had to be sheep's milk. Couldn't be cow's milk.
Sì.
I guess I'm
Questa
wrong.
l'abbiamo ricevuta ieri. Sono 4 kg di ricotta. Può capitare sempre quella ricotta che è un po' più molle, quella ricotta un po' più grassa, quindi più dura e vuole più zucchero. In questo caso, vedendola,
And this right here, this is the part where you look at it and you go like, this is the real skill here. This is the stuff that you can't teach. This is the kind of stuff that it's like you would never be able to do this without like insane, like, you know, electron microscope, you know, Siemens, you know, like hydrometer, super spectroscopes. You would never be able to do this. The only way to figure out, like, we want to make the filling the same texture every day. Well, the milk is not going to be the same every day. Your ricotta is not going to be the same every day. These are all organic processes that are going to be changed up because, you know, like the animal's a little bit stressed out. The animal ate a bunch of extra grass. They had maybe a little bit of, you know, XYZ, right? The rennet that you're using to, you know, turn the cheese, you know, turn the milk into the cheese is, you know, a little bit more active. There's a little bit different kind of a yeast culture that, you know, came in because it's an organic process. All of that stuff affects your finished product. And the only way to make it consistent is to have, like, you know, years and years, if not decades and decades, you've got like, you know, you've got like this just like weird intuitive feel for it. And you're like, yeah, this needs like, you know, like a half a scoop, like, and you just like, you know, somehow make it super good, dude. I love how in every cooking show they give you like instructions on how to make it. Yeah. I may get me some spaghetti.
è poco molle. Quindi invece di mettere
Ugh.
800 grammi di zucchero,
What kind of
metterò
meatballs?
600. Non è
You go
tutto
turkey
preciso.
meatballs?
Con
You
questo
go
riusciamo a riempire
beef?
un
Go pork and beef?
50-60 bucce. Questa ricotta così, con poco zucchero, è difficile che si trovi
Doesn't last long.
nelle pasticcerie.
Really?
Non dura molto, al massimo 5-4 giorni.
4 to 5 days at most.
Questo è un macchinario che
But you
serve
got
a
mad at me for doing
setacciare
that?
la ricotta, ovvero a renderla più cremosa. E la ricotta, passando attraverso questa maglia, diventa molto setosa, molto cremosa. Non ha più quei grumi.
Doesn't have these lumps
La
anymore.
media di 2 volte
Which
a
is an
settimana
extra thing, like, that's
passiamo
really
quasi
cool.
160 kg di ricotta,
Oh yeah, man.
che è pronta per essere spalmata all'interno della buccia.
Now that looks pretty good. Like
Se avessimo
that's
aggiunto
really cool
più
looking.
zucchero sarebbe il risultato più liquido e quindi anche il cannolo era difficile da riempire.
Yeah, like that's a really good looking filling.
Adesso è arrivato il momento di sfogliare l'impasto. Questa è una sfogliatrice, come vedete, visto? È tutto che si strappa.
Torn.
Allora bisogna ottenere un risultato liscio e omogeneo. È
Gotta get
tutto
a
oggi.
yeah. All by sight.
Piega su piega su
I mean, like,
piega,
this is the
l'impasto
crazy
diventa
part about
liscio.
it, because it's like this is the stuff that, again, like, you know, if he doesn't have kids, or if his kids don't want to go into this, like, this stuff's kind of like just lost, because this is like a lifetime's worth of just being in the kitchen, watching your dad do it, watching your grandfather do it, and them kind of teaching you a little bit, but, like, you know, you just kind of like absorbing it. It's just like osmosis that you're getting this new stuff. And these are the kind of things that it's like, you know, we're kind of, I mean, I don't want to be a doomer about it, but like we're kind of, you know, losing this stuff. And people like it. Like people will be sad when it's gone, but it will take generations to get it back.
Liscio. E poi siamo pronti per allungare
Oh, we're ready to
l'impasto
stretch the
fino ad
dough.
avere uno
2 or
spessore
3
di
millimeters thick.
2-3 mm. Non a contatto con l'olio. Cosa succede? Che la pasta gonfia e si strappa. Un bel po' di
Oh,
anni,
really?
2-3 anni.
See, 2 to 3 years of making shells every day to learn. That's it. Like that's the only way to learn a lot of these, like these craft artisanal skills, is literally like, you see this all the time with like Japanese craftsmen, where they're literally like, we'll take you on as an apprentice, but it's like 10 years until you can do this job. They'll literally be like, yeah, you know, it takes like 5-6 years to learn. And they'll be like, okay, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you're like splitting wood. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's like 6 years. You're going to be doing that every day for like 6 years. And then we'll move you on to, you know, like threading this needle every day for like, you know, another 2 or 3 years. And then you get on, and then it's like, you're finally there. And it's like, how the hell does that work? But, you know, the results speak for themselves. It's crazy.
Perché fai conto, fare sempre le bucce ogni giorno, impari. Adesso siamo pronti a stendere la pasta. Viene passata uno strato sopra l'altro.
Like that's smooth coming off, bud. Crazy.
Questo è un coppapasta a forma di rombo. E questo si tramanda sempre di generazione in generazione. Con lo sbattere, con la forte pressione, si è ammaccato. Non troverete mai un cannolo come il nostro, tagliato con questo coppapasta, ma magari troverete dei coppapasta quelli rotondi. Questo è da 4 strati, 1, 2, 3 e 4. Se mi vuoi sfidare, credo che ne possiamo fare
7 or 8 layers max.
7-8 strati. Quindi oltre ad avere quella media, che è questa, dove viene un
They got
cannolo
some
di
big boys.
150-200 grammi.
Look at that huge
abbiamo
one.
la forma per fare
Half
il cannolo
a
da
kilo. It's like a full pound cannoli.
400 grammi barra
That's a
mezzo
big
chilo.
boy.
Infatti guardate qual è la differenza. La prossima fase è
That's
quella di
big.
chiusura, che è la fase più importante, diciamo, la fase principale. L'uovo a cosa serve? Serve a
And again, just assembly line.
per far sì che non si aprano durante la frittura.
Cool.
Prendere le punte, allunghiamo
Stretch it out.
e
And then you close it
allarghiamo.
up.
Nella nostra pasticceria non troverete mai un cannolo
Never find 2 identical cannoli.
uguale all'altro.
Hey, man.
Ma
Oh,
cannoli
the Spectre, you're
diversi.
back. What's
Perché
going
ogni
on?
buccia viene chiusa in un modo, ovviamente, perché non è di fabbrica. Per chiudere utilizziamo
I actually dig at that
un
book we were talking about. The DDT book.
bastoncini di legno, che in questo caso è il legno di faggio ed è resistente al calore, però ogni tanto, tipo una volta ogni 2-3 mesi, questi
That's really
bastoncini
cool.
si degradano e quindi li dobbiamo cambiare. Cioè si deve la parola cannolo alla canna di fiume, perché
Reeds.
prima le bucce venivano chiuse con le canne,
Using bamboo
quelle dei fiumi,
reeds.
tipo canne di bambù. In ogni cestello ci vanno
I understand why they probably went away from the bamboo is probably like exploding because they have like little chambers in there.
18 bucce. Adesso siamo pronti a friggere. Come tradizione le bucce devono essere fritte sempre nello strutto
Fried and lard at
180
180
gradi, non di
degrees
più.
Celsius.
per 5-6 minuti. stanno facendo le bollicine.
That's not. I mean, yeah, those bubbles are crazy.
È il vino che dà queste bollicine.
Wine that gives these bubbles.
La nostra
Yeah.
buccia non sarà mai scura o troppo bruciata, ma avrà quel colore
Oh, lost one.
dorato, chiaro. Adesso si fanno scolare.
Gonna drain them up.
Fare il cannolo è un processo dove non ci si ferma. Cioè tutto questo che vedete continua. Cioè immaginate un loop.
Big loop.
Ci permette di avere sempre una buccia
Always got
fresca.
a fresh one. And again, I mean, like, that's kind of the thing.
Oggi per domani.
That is kind of my thing here, where I'm just like, if you have to be given like a fresh version of your dessert for the dessert to be good, it's not a good dessert for me. Like in my mind, like it doesn't rise to that level of something that's like a good dessert or pastry, I guess. If it has to be fresh, it's not as good.
Ed è questo che fa molto la differenza nella nostra buccia.
I will also say I've never had one with a candy orange peel like this. Never had one. Look at those pants.
Quella fontana, the name, fontana dei tre cannoli, come questa.
Classic
Diciamo
Italian.
che è un'attività familiare, perché
Just walking cannolis across the street. He's got to point out his fountain.
io sono qua.
Hey,
mio
look at
padre è al
this.
bar con mia sorella
Yes.
e un assistente.
Hilarious.
Buongiorno papà. Le goccine devono essere messe al momento,
Uh-huh.
poiché se messe subito la ricotta prende il colore del cioccolato. E su richiesta le scorzette di arancia. E un po'
I've never
di
had it with
pistacchio.
pistachio either, if I'm
Il nostro
honest.
prodotto di vanto è la buccia del cannolo. Ormai da un paio d'anni che spostiamo i cannoli in Svizzera, in Francia, in Spagna, perché ormai il nostro cannolo è famosissimo da tutte le parti. Il nostro
I don't think it'd be any
cannolo
good.
completo noi lo vendiamo
I can only imagine the shipped cannoli shell is not good in other places. I could be wrong. Maybe they do something. Maybe they have like a desiccant pouch or something that they ship with it that keeps it like crispy, crunchy, something like that. Maybe. But I can't imagine it's that good.
tutto al bar. A Piana degli Albanesi all'Extra Bar
Oh.
e vengono di proposito
Piana degli Albanesi.
gruppi che trovandosi a Palermo
Oh,
chiedendo
Palermo.
del cannolo dove si mangia più buono
That's good.
vengono tutti qua a Piana. Siamo contenti che ci vengono a trovare da
We're
tutte le
happy that people
parti.
come to visit us from all over. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so Spectre, I did actually get that what was it? Like the excellent powder book that we were talking about last time. Yeah, I did actually get it. And I'll be honest, the stuff that they mentioned in there as far as like the DDT experiments on the disease causing possibilities for it kind of convinced me. I was like, okay, it sounds like, this was kind of unfairly maligned. It's not to say that, there's not, it can't cause harm. That's not true. It definitely can. But the experiments that they did with it basically meant that, they literally were like feeding people DDT. They were like feeding like animals and stuff DDT. And it turns out that, yeah, okay, if you're fed, an industrial insecticide, yeah, you get some health problems. But in terms of like the amount that you need, yeah, maybe I'll have to pick it up and check it out. Yeah, you can, but I don't even know how you'd find it anywhere. But I got it online. But yeah, so like the amount of toxicity in it is actually less than a lot of other things that are, more prevalent. So, yeah, it kind of convinced me that I was like, yeah, I think the whole case that I was making was probably true, that, these guys were more or less on the up and up. I think so. That was my takeaway from it. And especially like literally like reading the book, it's literally like every like 2 paragraphs, like 2-sentence paragraphs, there'll be like a bunch of footnotes. Like they're referencing so many things so often, it's insane. So to me, unless they were making up every single one of them, I checked out a couple and they were legit. But unless they were doing that for like an enormous amount. To me, it just makes me think like, yeah, I think they were correct. Ah, the cannoli. Yes, the cannoli. All right, do we want to watch more of these eater videos? Or do we want to get into... What was the other thing I was going to do? I had a couple... Where are we looking here? I know, I'm trying to think. Like, oh yeah, this is the other one. I had this one podcast I was going to maybe watch. And then I also had a couple more videos, but I'll be honest.
Joseph Foley, welcome.
No, not you. That wasn't it. Yeah, I had these 2 videos from Side Scrollers. I had the one video from Kirsche. One from this Rev site about Silksong, which apparently is difficult, or it's too cheap. It's too good. It's too good for a $20 game, which I get. Like, I totally understand that because it is a super good game. I haven't played it yet, but I know it's super good. Yeah, it's funny to me. So we can watch some of these videos, or to be honest, we could also watch more eater vids.
From a scrappy...
Okay. I used to work in a rare disease lab. We used to do research on all kinds of crazy substances, mostly pharma products. But we did one on Monster Energy exposure on mice. Never had DDT come through. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you kind of figure the DDT stuff has to be, like, you know, people already figure it's like settled. It's settled science. We're done with it. We're not using it anymore. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but my guess is it's like banned for use and manufacture in the US. I don't know where you are. But probably also in like in Europe as well, my guess. Because Europe tends to just follow US on a lot of things. Not everything, but on a lot of those types of things. But that's kind of cool. All right, yeah. The Monster Energy exposure on mice. Yeah, what were your results on Monster Energy on mice? And I'm also wondering, yeah, like what kind of concentrations were you feeding them? That is hilarious. Uh-huh. Let me see here. What other stuff do we have on here? The Perfect Bar of Chocolate. I don't think I've watched this one yet. You've used Sprite on the stuff that companies try to research. Law firms and stuff send stuff to labs, try to get ambiguous reports to support lawsuits. Yeah. Yes. I can't say because it's a sealed report. It was using... Oh, really? That's hilarious. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great. I wonder. All right, so let me think. Yeah. Yeah, law firms and stuff to labs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've got a cousin who works in a lab. He does mostly like water testing. Well, he does it, to be perfectly honest, he does a ton of stuff. But yeah, that's one of the things. I think he's doing more of like the sort of general like industrial testing stuff. So it's like everything that, you know, you got to test like every day or every other day or something like that. You're sending out samples just to make sure your purity's correct, your concentrations are right. But yeah, I know that. I know it's pretty crazy. All right, let's check. I want to see if I want to do any more of these. Trying to see if I want to do any more of these food videos, or if I want to move on to some other topics. Not sure. I think I want to try 3 Michelin-starred coconut dessert. That's kind of interesting. I kind of feel like I like the what do you call it? I like the dessert ones more. It feels like there's more like artistry involved. All right. Let's just fire on to the next thing we did. All right. So this will be from Side Scrollers, Kirsche. Every show you loved is toxic and offensive. What?
Zoe Kravitz. What
No
what
way.
has she done? I don't. She's
So
Lenny
she-
Kravitz's kid.
Yeah.
She's was in Fantastic Beasts as Lita Lestrange. She's the new Catwoman in Batman, the one with
Okay.
Robert Pattinson. Yeah, she's sort of famous, you know, being a nepo baby and everything, but she's just a retard.
I was about to say, how come it seems
Uh-oh.
like all of the children of celebrities are just absolute retards? Can we name one celebrity child that just hasn't become a massive annoyance?
Well, massive annoyance. No, I was gonna say.
The Eastwood. Eastwood ain't.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
Scott
okay,
Eastwood
fair.
is a babe. Yes,
okay.
let's go with him, please. Thank you.
Babe.
Oh, he's a babe.
I have footage of Blabs actually talking
Oh,
about
no.
Scott Eastwood.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You've
Ruh-roh.
unfortunately been upgraded too, Blabs. That's
Yeah.
Bro got skipped. He got skipped.
yikes. Oh, we lost
Ruh-roh.
you.
Muted it.
Bye, Craig.
Goodbye,
Oh my
Craigacy.
God. This is such a fun
Whoa, okay, well, I
ongoing.
guess I'm gonna do this segment.
This is such a hilarious ongoing like bit where his mic cuts out. Because it's like it's only happened recently apparently when he's like upgraded his sound stuff.
All right. So anyway, okay. Oh, it's me now. Okay, I'm gonna share
All
my
right.
screen. So, what has Zoe
Ruh-roh.
Kravitz been saying that makes her an absolute retard? Well, I'll tell you.
More eater videos. All right, we'll definitely go back to it for sure.
Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, like, why can't you share? Yeah, you're back, Craig. Okay.
Whoa.
Zoe
Is that Zoe Kravitz?
Kravitz says,
She looks totally
like,
different.
super homophobic jokes on like mainstream television. If you watch Friends now, you're like, whoa, that's things that aren't punchlines are punchlines. It's wild. So maybe that you can keep that there. And she's referring to keeping things in the 90s and not having them in 2025. So she so she's talking about all the jokes in Friends, because remember, Ross's ex-wife becomes a lesbian, right? And she's married to another lesbian. It's like, oh, you married a lesbian. Oh, your ex-wife is a lesbian. Blah 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 blah. All these punchline jokes, and she's like, these are offensive.
It's not offensive, but like if you're a woman and you're married to a woman, just being like, yo, a lesbian isn't really a punchline, right? You could be like, oh, so when's the crab boat leave tomorrow morning, right? Like, you gotta actually make it funny.
Yeah, so she's basically saying that all these things, all these homophobic references in the 90s should stay there. And it's not the first time someone's talked about like the Friends sitcom as being like out of date and all that. Wasn't it like Daisy Ridley and John Boyega of Star Wars? They were like, it's very out of touch now.
Crazy. Friends
Yeah.
was like the most.
Shit.
It was like the level show. Like everyone watched that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Friends. Or
I
did.
never
haven't
watched
watched
it.
in years because I'm just kind of over it at this point. But it was funny, dude. I loved Friends. It was
I
like
never
something you
watched
just
it.
put on the back of the, you know, while you're doing something. There's friends. There's literally friends there, right? They're like
Mm-hmm.
they're friends, and it's Friends.
I have a need to tangent, and my tangent gland is very full. Can I take this
Alright.
opportunity?
Please tangent away.
So seeing Zoe Kravitz's face reminded me, last night I watched an episode of Wife Swap. I fucking love Wife Swap. All right, it's one of my favorite sloppa shows. Like it's such a bad show, but I love it. And I watched like just like a random episode from season 1 of Wife Swap.
Okay, yeah, back when they were going hard on it.
And it was like some environmentalist animal rights activist family that doesn't clean their house and doesn't parent their kids, swapping with like a redneck pro-gun, I'll go Confederate flag outside my house, brother, kind of family. Like he goes hunting every night.
Yes.
His wife is like, you know, the like super fat like parent teacher conference bad bitch who supports the family kind of lady.
Yeah, we
And
know.
So like they swap wives. And
Oh
the
my
animal
God.
rights activist lady shows up at the hunter guy's house, and he has like mounted deer heads and like stuffed ducks that he's killed hunting, and she just immediately starts having a breakdown.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God.
"No, how could you kill God's creatures like this? It's so bad." And then she sees the Confederate flag outside, and she's like, "Oh my God, how can they have such a symbol of racism on their house? This needs to come down right away." And she's just like crying over everything, and I had to check myself because I was like, this show is old as fuck. I was watching an episode from 2004. This woman
Okay, 2004.
in 2004 was acting like current year, and I was just,
Oh.
holy shit, brother.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
there's
it-
test
it-
cases.
It's always
It's a real thing, man. There's cultural test cases They seed them in, and they're like, all right, what can we get away with? All right, we can't do this yet, but it's coming.
Always been there. We just laughed at it. I think that's the biggest thing is now it's these people are taken seriously, which is I don't know how the fuck that happened. But
I don't know how that happened. They used to be like made fun of on Sloppa TV, like wife swap. And now they're
You got
like,
enough of
Zoe
them. They reached critical mass, and they were able to get into a bunch of other spots, and then when they were in the other spots, they were the one person not laughing, and you go, oh. If everybody's laughing at this person, you go, okay, yeah, like what they said is obviously crazy. But if there's like one holdout who's like, no, this is good. What they're saying makes a lot of sense. Oh, yeah. You're like, oh, well, maybe I was laughing. Maybe I'm the crazy one. Is it? Maybe. And then eventually, yeah, not going to lie, I'm a VTuber too. Yeah, I suspected.
Kravitz and being taken
I shouldn't say
seriously
suspected. I
in
knew that.
mainstream news.
Okay, so speaking of things that we laughed at.
Yeah, I did want to ask actually, who are your like favorite VTubers? Who's your Oshi?
But now are seen as problematic by some people. I have this article here from Screen Rant. 8 beloved TV shows, 90s TV shows that are now seen as problematic.
Oof,
Any guesses?
how old is
here?
this?
Oh God.
Well, let's see. This is 2024. So I mean, obviously we got Married with Children, and then okay, I want to say Tool Time. I know it's not Tool Time. What the hell is that Tim Allen show? Tool Time is the show that he's on in the actual show. I literally don't remember.
I see Married with Children already. And
Yeah.
I see
Tim Allen.
Taylor. I forget the name of the show.
Tim Allen's was it not Last Man Standing because that's the newest
Home
one, but like
Improvement.
Home Improvement.
Home
Yeah.
Is the most Home Improvement is the most tame show.
It
is,
really,
it really
is.
is.
It super is.
Ridiculous.
Married with Children, yeah. Married with Children is like, it's edgy, but it's supposed to be.
Here we go. Married with Children.
Uh-huh. I would have put that at like number 1.
Though
a
the
great
tone was
show.
yes, meant to be hilarious stuff. By the way,
Really good.
Ed O'Neill, phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Right here.
Really
I
good
wonder,
stuff.
Yes.
though.
90210 is going to be on this list too. I got a crazy feeling.
Baywatch, maybe.
Oh, good call. Absolutely. Yeah.
Baywatch. Okay, let's see.
Gotta
Home
be.
Improvement, which is just the most insane. Like I watch this show at night.
Mm-hmm.
This show holds up. It's all about family fucking values. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
well,
It's on
that's
Netflix
kind of
right
the
now. I
point.
encourage you to go watch Home Improvement because it holds up today. The show is 35 plus years old.
it's not that old.
Watching that show with my grandparents, man.
It's great, man. It's excellent. Also, Friends deemed
Of course.
problematic.
Wait a minute, is it actually 35? No, it is 35 years old. Never mind. My math is off. Friends.
We
Yeah.
have that 70s show.
What was
Which-
problematic about?
Well, I think the fact that you had a child predator playing one of the main characters. Yeah, I could see why that would be maybe a little bit spicy
That
nowadays.
70s
Even though that's
show?
not.
They literally had the foreign exchange guy. Was that why he's problematic?
for sure,
His
yeah.
Stereotype.
The 70s
Obviously.
show allowed its male teenage characters to behave terribly to the women in their lives and make many sexist remarks about them.
No, that's not true. That's definitely not true because this was like what? This was in like the 90s and 2000s. The female characters were always the one that like won every fight. 100%. They were like the smartest characters. They were the toughest. They were like, yeah, no. Like they could make like insults to them, but like they always got the last laugh.
Censor history for our sensibilities. Things can't be accurate.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
For women being so strong, they sure need an enormous amount of rules to help them in life. Like they just really need everything helping them out for all that strength.
It's really funny you say that because in the middle of you saying that, I was thinking about all of the like, white fragility stuff going around on Twitter. But then as soon as someone says the N-word, there's like a massive meltdown everywhere.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I haven't
Well.
even got to the best part because I haven't shown you the author of this article. It's
Oh.
spectacular.
Isn't it they them?
No, come on. Let me
We'll
see
get
the
to that in a
rest. Let me
second.
see the rest.
Next,
was in-
Dawson's Creek.
Oi, really?
Dawson's problematic treatment of women and Jen's characterization have not aged well.
I've never watched.
I mean,
Dawson's
it's a
Creek, so I don't have an
character,
opinion on
though.
that show.
Maybe the character has some problems. I've definitely never watched it. Is that the theme
Nailed
song?
it, Craig. Beautiful.
Thank you, appreciate it. It's good. Ally McBeal.
Really?
Allie's workplace relationships and dynamics are unprofessional, unbelievable, and undeniably sexist.
Interesting.
I've never watched that show, but are
I've
they
never.
saying that?
I
Like,
was
she
gonna. I
slept
literally
away-
was thinking Sex in the City. Literally thinking if Ally McBeal's on there, it's got to be Sex in the City
through
too.
her career, and that's too accurate of a portrayal of real life.
God,
So
that's
that's
rough.
problematic.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Also not realistic. Sex in the City.
What?
That
What
was
is that,
female
like a
empowerment.
women's empowerment
I
show?
knew it.
It had offensive moments. All right, just chill out, everybody.
Yeah,
Fuck me.
about like
A show about boning in the city. Is,
Yeah.
has offensive moments. All right, any guests on number
what a
one?
crazy. Okay, Sarah Jessica Parker's Carrie Bradshaw is one of the most iconic TV characters of all time, and the worst things Carrie did on Sex and the City only strengthened the audience's love-hate relationship with her. Each of the four central women in Sex and the City had their issues and were unapologetically themselves, even if they owed others an apology.
It's got to be like Beverly Hills or fucking Baywatch or some shit. It has to be.
No, so these are all like chick shows. Like a lot of these are like the last 3-4 of these were like chick shows that were watched primarily by women at the time. So I don't know. I feel like Baywatch might literally be just fly totally beneath the radar.
No, Craig made it sound
Family
like this
Guy.
is this is going to be. I think this is supposed to be like.
Oh,
I'm going to say the Cosby Show.
I'm saying Family Guy or Simpsons, something animated.
Simpsons is also a good guess.
So Cosby
Yeah,
Show
I'm-
was 80s.
Simpsons
right.
is what it is.
Know your timeline.
Damn it.
Blabs, have you ever seen any of these shows that we're talking about?
I've seen bits, but I've never seen Sex in the
What
City. I've
about-
never seen 90210. None of
Was
these.
Boy Meets World in the 90s?
I've never seen. Is it
Yeah.
Gossip
Yeah.
Girl?
Boy Meets World
No,
definitely
that's
is.
early 2000s, isn't
Gossip
it?
Girl is 2000.
Gossip Girl, yeah.
I think
I don't even think early 2000. That might have been 2010.
Worlds. That's a good one, Kirsha. I would go with that one.
If Boy Meets World, okay, that'd be hilarious. All right, here we go.
I could
Number
see
one.
it, but I don't think so. All right, the most recent reboot. No.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That show.
My grandpa loves this show, and he only made
I
fun
get
of
it.
one of my uncles because he acts exactly like Ray.
I get it.
I love Frank and
I can
Marie.
see
Oh
this.
My God.
Okay, hold on.
I get the
Okay.
so the rationale they're using. I just saw like the little tagline where it's like, "Hey, this person's basically a single mother. Her husband doesn't do anything to protect her from his overbearing family." I'm like, "Okay, so you're projecting. This is literally like I'm, my husband's parents are like, getting up in my business. And therefore, anytime I see this on TV, I'm like losing my mind." And then, of course, there's virtually no diversity within and outside the white main cast, and contemporary social issues are all but forgotten. So, social issues 20 years in the future are not in a show 20 years in the past? That shocks me. I don't know how that's possible.
We got to read why, okay?
Yeah.
Why?
Please
Watching
tell me.
Everybody Loves Raymond today. It's
Uh-huh.
easy to hate Raymond.
Uh-huh.
As he embodies everything wrong with the American ideal of masculinity.
Oh my god. Yes.
Masculinity.
Yeah.
He
Ray?
expects
He's
Yeah.
a family man. What the fuck?
he expects his wife Deborah to raise their
Oh, I
3
love
children
it.
alone and rarely helps with any housework. This
Uh-huh.
is compounded by the fact that Ray's mother constantly berates and antagonizes Deborah, creating
Mm-hmm.
an unhealthy relationship between the two that feeds on stereotypes about mother-in-laws and pits the two female characters against each other.
Yeah.
Ray is hardly the only man who cares little for his wife, as his father exhibits the same behavior, and they gang up on Ray's older brother, Robbie.
Oh.
While these issues might not seem glaring on the surface, they're representative of a culture that disregards and subjugates women. Shows like Everyone Loves Raymond communicate to the audience that this treatment is okay and should be discouraged. Additionally, there's
encouraged.
virtually no diversity within
Oy,
or
oy,
outside
oy.
the white main
Holy
cast.
shit.
It amazes me people make living writing articles like these days. You know what? Every day is coming to an end very soon. AI is coming for these people's jobs with a vengeance. So,
Contemporary social
I hope they made their money. I hope they socked it away. I hope they invested it wisely because, yeah, the gravy train is over, I think. And you know what? What a shame. What an absolute shame.
Issues are all but
Oh, what an
forgotten.
absolute
I
shame.
hate these people so much. I hate
AI
them.
cannot come for their jobs
Okay.
fast enough.
The writer of this,
Yes, let's
by the
hear
way,
it.
senior staff writer, Screen Rant.
Oh
here.
my god.
There, I will say this.
Okay.
No pronouns in the bio because I don't think there is
Really?
a place to put them.
Okay.
But
Wow.
I will say this. She has a bachelor's degree in
Yeah.
media arts and production with a double minor in what?
Women's studies.
Women's
Ding, ding,
studies
ding,
and
ding,
something
ding.
about gender.
Really?
Women, gender, and sexuality studies.
Okay.
Fucking smart! I know these fucking snakes. I can smell them.
Oh my god! Well, you get arrested for saying that in Europe. And by the way, this is from Emerson College, one of the most left-leaning colleges ever. She
Yoy.
has a double minor in history and women's gender and sexuality studies right here. So there we are.
Uh-huh.
Like women's college.
Emerson?
What's that?
Is Emerson the women's college? Like literally like for women college, like men cannot apply.
I don't think they have
that's
those
the
anymore.
case. If I remember correctly, yeah, Emerson College it's a liberal arts school in Boston.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, it's not the one I'm thinking of. I remember that there was like
No.
a car parked at a gas station near my apartment, and it was from like a women's college. I can't remember the name of it, but it had a bumper sticker for the college, and then like a bunch of other really crazy like progressive bumper stickers.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
it also had a notice on its windshield that it's going to get towed if it doesn't get moved.
Nice.
Well, now we know all these shows, and we'd like to thank Zoe Kravitz for bringing us here.
Thank you, Zoe Kravitz.
My favorite
Thank
thing
you.
was though, if you
God, she looks so weird in this picture.
paid attention to that tweet, right? If you go to the quote tweets, I'm going to share this one because I think
right.
it's just so fitting.
Let's see it.
This is Melee K's statement. Can you share my screen?
got
She
it.
says, I have decided to become more homophobic in response to this statement.
Yeah.
Atta girl.
That's a lot of people.
You know, I do
We're
have
done.
a
Like
thought,
it's
though.
done. We're finished.
what
Like it's
if-
like okay, it's cool. You had your time in the sun. I'm glad that you had fun trashing people on Twitter for having like relatively reasonable takes on things. But that time is past now. We're done with that. So now we're done. Now we're done to the point where if you try to push us on this, like, no, we're going the opposite direction. I will happily say like whatever you don't want me to do. Whatever is the thing that makes you upset, I'm going to do that even more. Even if I don't want to.
What if somewhere along the lines the Marxist programming has kind of like short-circuited in some of these people's brains? You know how current year has been all about demonizing men and how men are all the issues in society? Well, if the entire point of like part of feminism was to destabilize relationships between men and women, it would make sense that a lot of the older TV shows would have I hate my bitch of a wife humor, because you go from I hate my bitch of a wife, women bad, to then 180ing flipping on its head to wow, men are shit. And then now you just have everybody angry at each other all the time.
Well, men
I
are the
guess.
problem with society. We all know that. So congratulations, we found the
Way to
bottom of it.
go.
I'm curious. Let's see. I actually want to see what other great articles this person has written here. But
Oh, a
whatever,
lot.
You know,
A
we
lot.
found the coup.
A ton. All right, let's see. So Minty said she wants more eater videos. So we'll do at least one more for sure. I got to do one more. I got to find one that's like good. Maybe we'll go for latest. Interesting. The next pastry craze. Pastry icon Dominique Ansell's new. That looks pretty good. Let's try to find. If anything jumps out at you, let me know. New York's busiest bakery. Steakhouse. I don't know why, but I am looking. I like the dessert ones. They're like super like technical, really cool looking. I think we will probably go for the yeah, let's go for this first one. I don't know if I've seen this one yet.
When I start thinking of a new pastry, I think one of the most important things for me is to connect with the person who's going to eat it.
I have seen
How
some
to
of this stuff.
translate an emotion, a memory. It's not just like, oh, I like chocolate.
These are cool.
And peanut butter. I'm gonna put them together. How can I make them feel almost special with something they might not recognize? I want to see, people coming to the bakery. I want to see the smile on their face, to feel like warm. There's always something special in every single pastry.
It is cool, but it's like I feel like people have kind of lost the fact that it's like you're a chef. Like you're I shouldn't even say you're a chef. You're a cook. You're cooking for people. You're not trying to do like these high art fads in like cooking and chefs and these types of things where it's like it's a whole experience, it's a whole thing. It's like I get it because we've kind of like nailed down how things taste good, you know? Like we've kind of almost gotten to the point where we've elevated food as far as it can go. We can't make food taste better. We figured out all the elements that work, that are good for it, and we figured out exactly how to maximize that part of the experience. So now it's like, all right, well, we have to go for something else. Now we have to the food is as delicious as we can make it. Unless we genetically engineer you to have more taste buds or something like that, food is maxed out. We're good. Deliciousness has reached peak. So now we have to go for other stuff. So now it's like, okay, now we have to try to mess you up. We have to try to trick you. We have to try to make the experience interesting. So it's like, oh, okay, you're going to have this thing and you think it's a strawberry, but actually it's pureed tomatoes or something like that. So it's it tastes like, tomato sauce or something like that. And you're like, what's going on? My brain thought it was this, but now it's this. And it's it's an entirely different thing where you're trying to, and this is also just sort of the movement of art in general. You're moving it away from the base fundamentals of beauty in art. All art is pursuing that platonic ideal of beauty. Now it's pursuing something else. It's shifted in the 1960s into pursuing intellectual interest. So all of your art, all of your kind of modernist art is a reaction to something else. It's trying to play on something. It's trying to make you think of something. Instead of it being it's good for itself. It's beautiful and can be appreciated for what it is, and you don't need anything else. Now, art is only good, any art that's been produced in the last 60, 70 years is only good if you have an art history degree and you can tell what it's responding to. And therefore you're part of a conversation, and it's a debate. It's an interesting debate to look at this piece of art and go, oh, I wonder what they're thinking about. I wonder how they're this must mean, this use of brush strokes here is a reaction to this thing. If the artist is talented and good and has training and that stuff, most of them don't nowadays. Most of them are just throwing crap up and people are making up reasons why it's good. But that's also the whole point, is that now art has become crap because there's no fundamental, there's nothing fundamentally good about it. There's no fundamentals of beauty. There's no fundamentals of training or expertise or, competency that, is requisite to make you an artist. Now you can just throw crap on a page and people will be like, oh man, it's incredible, dude. You rode a bike across a bucket of paint and it's oh, it's saying so many things, dude. Oh my God, it's incredible. Dude, no. And now it's sort of the same thing with food, where in which it's moved away from my job as a chef is to give you a food experience. It's I'm trying to make you taste things, and I'm making, the experience of eating this meal as good and as delicious and filling as possible. Now it's like we want you to think. We want you to think like, all right, what's the theme of this dish? What is the emotion that they're trying to convey? What's the statement they're trying to make? It's really very weird. But yeah.
We're here at Dominican Style Workshop, where we produce most of the pastries for 2 locations and soon the third one as well. So we make all the doughs, all the croissants. So here we're going to mix the cronut now. So the cronut is our signature pastry. It's a hybrid between a croissant and a donut. At the time with my girlfriend, she's not
I was going to say, I think this is the guy who invented the cronut.
She challenged me to do a donut. I look at her laughing. I was like, honey, I'm French. I don't know how to make donuts. And she insisted enough that I had to make something.
Looks pretty good.
So I work on a recipe. I work on a different type of flour, different type of mixing, different type of fermentation. And I worked on it for too long. I thought I was about to push it aside, but I like the idea, so I keep on trying it until it worked. And we decided to launch it for Mother's Day.
I think this guy, I think I've seen his video before. Just like look at this guy's teeth. I feel like they changed. He got like the full, veneers.
I'm so excited. Little did I know by day 3.
I think they'll show some pictures of him
outside of the bakery before we even open. The most important here, you don't want to like overwork this dough. Once it's mixed, we're going to portion it and we'll go through the bulk fermentation. The next day we'll do the lamination. So it's a long process. It takes about 3 days to make a cronut.
Damn, really? That's crazy.
Like
I guess that's why they're like, when we sell out, we sell out. That's it.
The butter is a little softer. It has to be softer because I want the butter to break, but I want lamination to be too perfect. If it's too perfect, actually the layers pop up too much and it gets too flaky. We don't get the perfect texture. So the perfect texture for me is like just between a croissant and a donut. So it should be like slightly brioche, but still have all those layers inside. So giving 3 folds together. Over here we're going into the blast freezer to chill. I've seen people scalping our cronut. We're selling it for like 20, 30 times the price. I've seen people picking our trash.
30 times.
The leftover of the cronut. It was just insane. We had to hire a bouncer for our bakery just to keep the line calm and quiet in the morning. You can see the butter is a little bit broken.
New York.
So we make a couple of hundreds of this, up to like 900,000 a day. We still have it every day. No exception, every single day.
Oh yeah.
So once all
of course
the are cut, we're gonna bring them to the bakery and then
Oi, dude. Come on. I feel like you could easily, I mean, I guess nobody does it, but it's like there's got to be some way you could like make stairs into a ramp. And also, shouldn't they have a ramp? Shouldn't they be handicapped accessible? How come these guys are able to get away with that? They are discriminating against people. I need to call New York City, Department of Public Works and rat on these guys. But I feel like there's definitely there's got to be a market for like things where you could like put them over the steps to turn it into a ramp, so that you could do something like this. You don't have to carry that big case down. You could wheel it down.
I worked in Paris for 10 years. Daniel Boulou called me out of the blue and was looking for a pastry chef. Came to New York for a week and just fell in love with everything. I worked for Daniel for close to 7 years. I was the executive pastry chef there. I've learned a lot, definitely. For a pastry chef working in a restaurant, it's always a little harder because your food, your creativity is not on the main stage. It's hard to express yourself. It's hard to like show people what you can do. So launching on my own for me was a natural next step.
I guess it's not that heavy necessarily.
This is my very first bakery, opened in 2011 with only 4 employees.
Yikes.
So I slept in this bakery in many different places, here on the floor, downstairs in the office. I was like spending all my days here. I was working 20 plus hours every single day. I was just literally exhausted.
Yeah.
So here we're proofing the cronut. This is one of the last steps of baking the cronut, and we're gonna fry them. That's the only place we fry the cronut here, so we do small batches at a time. The temperature of the oil is 175 Celsius.
I guess the oil exhausts pretty quick.
Oil. So this fries for just a few minutes. I think it's important to keep small batches because you really control every single product.
Right.
So you can watch
Makes
and
sense.
focus on all of them individually and make sure the quality and the consistency is there.
That's true, but the other side of that is also like if you have really super consistent, like I mean, like every Krispy Kreme donut I've ever had has been exactly the same, specifically because it's so super mechanized. You know, like they're all like the oil's always the exact same temperature because it's all super controlled. They all go through the batch at exactly the same speed. They all get exactly the same drizzle. They all get exactly, you know, it's all totally 100% exactly the same. Holy crap, I want a Krispy Kreme donut now. Oh my God.
At the time when people were telling me to cash out
Not really that bad.
and mass produce it, I refused to do this. I decided to myself that the quality and the integrity of the idea was the most important. And I didn't want my creation.
See, like I mean,
kill my
to me
creation.
that looks a little extra dark. You know, like if you were able to mass produce it, mechanize it, it would be more consistent. You could get exactly how you want it, and they would all be exactly the same.
It is. The sugar is just here for adding a little bit of the texture, remind you a little bit of the classic donut. So this is our filling for this month. The flavor is orange blossom and pistachio. So the flavor we offer here changes every single month. We actually have never ever repeated the same flavor. So every time you come to a different month, you have a different flavor of the cronut.
God, that looks
and
pretty good.
People will come back for because it's
That looks
special.
crazy.
It's
Holy
unique.
crap. That looks nuts.
The
Pistachio and
cronut turning
orange.
12 on May 10th.
Pistachio and orange. Have I ever had pistachio and orange desserts or flavors? I'm trying to feel like if that would be good. I mean, it's orange blossom. It's not orange like orange juice. So you figure it's got to be like, it's just like perfumey orange. Or like orange zest, maybe. Would that be good? It's got to be pretty good, but it's not. That's not a flavor I think of all the time.
A special date for me as well. It's the birthday of my son. And here you have it. You can see the two fillings, and this nice golden crust, and all those layers inside that we carefully built.
That's a lot of filling, dude. Holy crap.
And more inspiration for me to show the world what I could do.
It's a ton, man.
I think it's fascinating to me. That's why I love food. That's why I love traveling. Different culture will have different childhood memory, different
That's
connection
interesting.
with food.
It's like,
It's
oh,
not
it's like a
because you're
cookie
from a
shop.
place that you cannot adapt
It's
to
not gonna
everyone.
work. I get like again, like that thing, the cookie shot, where it's like, okay, it's like a chocolate chip cookie that's got milk in it. I'm sure that milk is good. Like I'm sure they sweeten it or they do something to it, so it's like a milkshake probably. But the cookie is not gonna be like. It's not gonna be as good as like a normal like chocolate chip cookie. It's supposed to be interesting as opposed to like this is the best kind of cookie milk experience you can have.
With my skills, with my knowledge,
It's supposed to be just
I
like
can translate
more
to
fun.
like such a deep, core memory of American culture and bring both worlds together. Traveling, adapting,
That's just a
learning, being
marshmallow?
curious about
Frozen
food is what I
s'mores.
love.
Ooh, so it's
That's
like a
who
baked
I am.
Alaska.
So the DK,
Very cool.
it's Dominique Squignaman. I call it DK because Squignaman is hard to pronounce even for French people.
Again, I mean, you know, it's a baked Alaska. We already know what that is, but yeah.
It is our best seller on every single location we open. So this is just a perfect lamination, a nice stretchy dough with a perfect elasticity. You see there's nothing breaking. That makes me very happy. I've had people from Brittany coming to the shop. They asked me what to try because they heard of the bakery. I told them to try the DK and they refused. They told me like, in Brittany they never eat Kouign-Amann for breakfast. So I give them one. I told them to try it and come back to see me. And they came back 5 minutes later with a big smile on their face, and they told me they've never had such a great Kouign-Amann. It's not just for show; it's like really something that you can test. You can test the difference, the quality.
Yeah,
of it.
baby.
We're making between probably 600 to 1,000 a day. This is really the most popular pastry.
That's a lot, dude. God, look
This
That is a
like the
huge
omega
operation.
pastry because like it's such a simple pastry. It is just a dough with some butter and sugar. But it's so easy to mess up. So you see like it's like hot. It's like a little gooey in the center, it's caramelized on the outside, and then you can see all these like flaky light layers. That's a beautiful decay to me.
Oh my.
When I
That's
think
really cool.
creatively of food, I look in a lot of different industries. It's easier to get trapped into the same feed and to have like the same ideas and the same inspiration. I've looked at nail art many times before, just for the painting, the details, the mixing
Right.
of the colors, the
The
tools they
nail
use. I think
arts.
when you look at different industry, you put yourself out there with your creativity and with your
Yeah.
ideas.
I can see it.
The entirety of my life. People always tell me this cannot be done, that is too hard. Don't move to New York, it's too hard to work in the fine dining. Don't open your own shop, don't try something new, just do the classics. That's
3D
bad
printing
advice
stuff.
after bad
That's pretty
advice.
cool.
And I was pushed away all these ideas and this way of thinking, which is not me.
Strawberry jam jar. I've heard like some of these things are hits and miss.
Waited
You
in the
know?
rain. No one does what he does, and just the creation and innovation behind everything he does is great.
There's definitely
Yeah, and like so notice what they say about this stuff. It's creativity. It's like, oh my god, it's such an authentic experience. It's so innovative. It's so all I want to hear when you're talking about food is it's like insanely delicious. Oh my god, I can't describe it. I don't even know what it is, but it's like it's so good, dude. It's like it's crunchy, it's sweet, it's sour. I don't know, man. It's so good. Holy crap, it's so good. I want to hear somebody like just shut up because it's so good. I'm like I can't describe this. It's just that good. I don't want to hear you talk about this stuff like it was a new book or something like that. Where it's like, oh, this is like a totally new technique. I'm like, nah, dude, like, no, that's not the point of food.
definitely a degree of like polish and like finish that
See?
I think is different than a lot of other
Mhm.
bakeries.
It's not really many places where they make something that innovative and
See?
make it that well. So
See?
yeah, I'm just excited to check it out.
See, I hear it's good. I hear it tastes good. I'm hungry. I want to eat. No. It's the whole experience. It's New Yorkers. Yeah.
The idea behind Papa L'Amour was to bring Asian bread culture and the French culture as well within one bakery.
That's great.
My wife is from Taiwan. Our kids are half Taiwanese, half French, and of course they're born here, so they're also American.
Yeah.
I've spent so many years giving people like new experiences within every location I open. I think to have a chance to like show my kids how I connect with the food is very important to me.
Yes. Wow.
5 days before opening this was stressful.
Get out of the way!
Because you worry about everything. You want everything to go well. No matter what happened, how like tense it can be, I see the kids, it's like a sunshine in my heart. Like, hey, I love them so much.
On the
Years,
menu
dude.
at Papa L'Amour, we have a tart. We're gonna use a bit of pretzel salt within the vanilla sablé and this nice light custardy cream. And then we're gonna finish it. We're gonna brush it with a little bit of brown butter on top. Crunchy, it's creamy. It's beautiful textures that
Pretzel salt egg tart.
I was inspired by traveling to Taiwan.
That looks pretty good.
This bread that they do for breakfast is scallion bread, and they fluff before they serve it. So I've created this pastry where you have to like kind of crush and break this two-texture pastry and eat it with the scallions. One of our signature is also our
Weird.
tau puff donut. So it's the inspired by the dim sum.
So first we make a tao mix. There's some starch inside, a little bit of salt, sugar. You can wrap it around the mochi that was previously steamed. So everything is made by hand, one by one.
Has
So
to
it's
be.
a long, intensive process. So
Yeah.
traditionally people use pork lard because it's a savory dim sum. So we don't do that. We use butter, nice butter actually, and it fries up essentially the butter and the heat of the oil. Everything kind of like fuses through. It takes about 1.5 minutes to fry. It's pretty quick. They're fried to order. I actually fried them all myself yesterday and today. We're making 200 today, so they all fried like 2 by 2 in a small fryers.
Okay, I thought he
One
meant
for me
like
to,
fried. I thought he meant fried to order, like you could have it like more or less done.
Make small batches throughout the the day, so we don't overdo it and keep
That's
the
crazy that
quality
it goes up
almost,
like that.
one by one. And we finish this with a little bit of powdered sugar here. So this is like not sweet at all. That dough is like super crispy on the outside. It's like
Clearly.
chewy and tender in the center. It works very well. I love this one.
That's crazy looking. It looks like it would hurt the roof of your mouth, though. I will also say, like if that's as crispy as it looks, and I bet it is, I would be like afraid to bite into it. It'd be like jabbing into the roof of your mouth.
And hopefully, you know, we can come up with something good with this one.
I don't know, you tell me if it's an extra nut. I don't decide this.
Taro mochi lace batter
When people
donut.
come to Paparamou, I want them to see different cultures through my eyes and my hands. For me, creating is fun. It's life. I don't want to do the same thing forever for like 30 years. No one
Yeah.
wants to. We all want to grow. We all want to change. And seeing your business changing and your customers appreciating and coming back for the new person you are every single time it's amazing. You can be part of their life and you can be sharing those experiences with
That's
them.
crazy looking. I like that there's some meat in there. That's kind of cool. It's like a hot dog. That's kind of fun looking. All right. And now we will go to this other side scrollers video. The greatest and gayest live stream meltdown of all time. Can we watch this? Is it safe? Well, we're rolling the dice.
Game Geometry Dash.
I've heard
Have
of
you
it.
this game before?
I think I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Game?
Yeah.
No, it's not a math game. It's
I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that. I had enough of geometry in high school.
okay. They
Geometry's
put
easy as hell.
Geometry in the title of these games
So
to
easy.
make you think that you're learning something, but you're not learning jack shit in these games. Okay.
Aw.
Geometry Dash is a very hard game, and this guy was streaming it on the very last level. Now,
Okay.
he died as he was going. Now, we all have these crazy accomplishments here,
Mm-hmm.
and when it comes to video games, this would have probably been his magnum opus here. But what I wanted
Yeah.
to talk about here is his reaction to him dying. So let's just go and pay attention
Okay.
to, and the gameplay here is nuts.
I mean, you're
This game
frustrated.
is called Geometry Dash.
No, who's the guy?
I don't know.
This guy, his name is
Quattrocientos.
I have
Right here.
never
Okay.
heard of him.
Yeah, neither have I. Neither have I. But let's go and see how he reacts to his untimely death.
Let's see it. Oof. Okay. Woof. Holy, what the hell? This is like a seizure in a game. Oh my god. It lagged.
Sounds like he's powering up.
He really does.
Yeah, he's going hard.
Did he die?
I don't think that's a laugh.
It's like laughing and crying. at the
182.
exact
Hang
same
on.
time.
Is his heartbeat actually on the screen? Is it 182? Is his heart rate 182? He needs to go to the hospital. 182? Are you kidding me? Dude, 182 is like legit. I'm not a doctor. I feel like that's legit tachycardia. I'm going to actually look that up. Okay. I think that's straight up tachycardia. A resting heartbeat over 100. Okay. Okay. Resting heartbeat over 100 beats per minute. Okay. I mean, it's not resting, but legit. Oh my God. Dude, that's like, all right. Palpitations. Yeah. Bro, that's insane. Unstable. Holy crap. Yeah. Immediate cardioversion. So over 100 resting heartbeat. Obviously, this is not resting heartbeat, but it's like almost 200. Holy. You cannot be serious. That's crazy. If that's for real, I need to go back just a smidge just to see if this is going up and down. It is. Holy crap.
I probably would have lost my fucking mind too. Like, I don't think That's a laugh.
It's like laughing
Dude.
and crying at the exact same time.
182.
laughing.
Understandable crash.
He's straight up like about to die.
99%.
This guy's gonna have a heart
I
attack.
probably would have lost my fucking mind too. Like, I get it, bro.
Dude.
Here we go.
I wanna
Let's-
eat it
let's
now.
just-
I
I
wanna
want
eat
to. I want to
it.
watch the whole thing.
It'll be good. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, let's see it. All right.
God damn!
Oh, let's see. Come on, dude. Now it's up to 190. Is he gonna hit 200?
Good lord.
Is he gonna hit two? It's still going up. It's still climbing.
Why are
190.
like men single lately?
191.
What's happening? I don't.
Is no one else noticing the heart rate monitor? Is no one else looking at the heart rate monitor? I hope it's fake. I hope it's not calibrated. Because if this guy's heartbeat is legit 191, he needs to never play video games ever again and probably go to the hospital immediately.
9%, even 100%.
He couldn't even finish his powering up. He got interrupted.
If he can't
Oh
finish
my
powering
God.
up here, how could he finish with me? Honestly.
Look at his heart rate.
Okay, there we go.
191 beats per minute. That is
crazy.
That's not healthy, is it?
No.
You know what this
No.
reminds me of?
Oh my
I don't
God.
even remember what the crash out was about, but do you remember that really old viral video of like that guy who like stuffed a remote control up his ass because he was freaking
Yeah,
the fuck
yeah, I
out?
remember it. I think it was fake,
That was
though.
like a generational crash out.
Those are my Wednesday nights.
I remember that, but I'm pretty sure it was fake.
We have him on the show here.
It's fake,
I
right?
just all I remember is like there was a guy who like screaming his mind out and like locked himself in his
Yeah.
room and then started like trying to stuff a remote control up his ass. That's all I remember.
Oh,
I remember
yeah, I have vague recollections.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that. Yeah, I do.
That was a
And I
good
believe
video.
I did hire him, which is great.
Okay, well I'm
There he
glad
is.
to see you're doing well with no more remote. Oh my god, my mods have the link to it. Holy shit.
Let's stink and go, mods.
This is why they're my mods. Where's the chat box here? Here we
There,
go.
right down on the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Greatest freak out ever.
Oh my
All right, Here
God.
we go.
Let's see it.
So,
I will be honest. I'm
so
pretty
here's
sure
the
this is
thing
fake.
about this, by the way. We'll get to the greatest freak out ever in a second.
Uh-huh.
But as I watch this guy overly freak out on here, my first thought was like, honestly, like Phoenix, my reaction was with you. Like, this is a grown ass man reacting this way. Like,
Debatable.
I get that you're streaming, I get it, and all this stuff, and you won't play it up. But I think after the initial reaction of him playing it up, he's literally
That's hard.
whimpering like somebody fucking died.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed a little like, what the? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
It's understandable, you know?
Is it?
Well, I like
Yeah.
in Terra, there would be some boss fights
Oh
that my friend thought it would be funny that even though they're incredibly difficult to do through matchmaking instead of actually making a party of competent people for. So we could get into these matchmaking parties and the DPS would not do any fucking damage. And so a boss fight that should take about 5 to 8 minutes would take about 30 to 45. And so there's a handful of clips of me in these boss fights where like we either finally kill it at like 40 minutes or we end up like wiping somewhere around like 35 or so.
Yeah.
And you can just hear me having a mental breakdown. Like I am making inhuman demonic noises as it is.
Okay.
I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah, but that's.
Let's write that
but
down.
Okay, but that is a little bit more like we needed that masculine energy with this guy because look, guys rage quit constantly all the time. They throw the controller, and no one would really complain. But this is someone who was so effeminate that he did his high-pitched screech and didn't even care that he was live to people watching him. Like he didn't even have those brain
come on,
cells to go,
man.
okay, maybe I gotta pretend I've got a dick somewhere here. He just went for it.
Well, it's like when you have like a primal crash out, you don't think about anything. Like your brain just flatlines, and you just instinctively you're like it just comes out, you know.
Yeah. But it's gonna come out in like two different ways. It's either gonna be up or down. You know, like where are you going? Are you exploding into a completely uncontrollable totally ridiculous rage, and you're gonna like punch your $1,000 monitor and like smash your machine and then be like, I regret doing that. This was not worth it. Or are you gonna be like, you're just like, completely so insanely depressed. You're just like, I'm gonna go end my existence over these pixels that say lose.
Oh, you're not thinking.
I've never known a guy
primal energy is feminine.
I've never known a guy when they're upset, they go, ah! I've never seen that. That is not something. That's what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah.
Oh god.
People are
See
different.
the crash out you were talking about?
Boy,
Let's see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a bunch of people who apparently don't know what this is.
We'll probably
We
get
see.
flagged for this. Because
Do you want to review it first?
It's definitely fake. It's not true.
No, because it's somebody else's content that they probably went through in copyright.
Okay.
But this. Hey, we're gonna fair use this because we're gonna stop and talk about it as we go.
It's definitely
So,
it's not.
here we
I'm
go. This is
pretty
the
sure
greatest
this is
freak
not
out
true.
ever.
Ancient memes.
My brother's World of Warcraft account.
Yeah, they should actually be caring about this guy because he could die of a heart attack. I'll be for real,
Classic internet
man.
here.
It's insane.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is definitely because I mean, there's like other people involved. He puts the camera up. It's definitely fake. I love it. No, this is definitely.
This is how we
This is
used to
fake.
react, and now you
Flop around like a worm? Like, what the fuck?
Did they come out when they were adults and they say it was all fake? Because that's crazy if they did. I missed that.
Why
I'm
would
pretty
you
sure they
have
did, yeah.
A tripod set up with a camera waiting for your brother to come in that room.
Because he just said, I just locked my brother out of his World of Warcraft account and he's freaking out. So, like, he set it up.
Yeah, like he set it up because I think his mom canceled his account. Either way,
Something like that.
Whether it's fake or not, he's now trans.
He's not famous.
No. So I mean, like this is him making a viral video. This is really good, content. This is him like freaking stuff out. I love it. He's gotta pull his pants down. Oh, this is great. He just strips down. Dude, no, this is so
You
good.
go under the blanket and you come out with some new clothes on.
This is so good.
Nice. Yes.
It's so
This
fake,
is, yes,
but I love
as
it.
pointed out in the chat, normal and healthy reaction.
No, man, these people are content kings. They know exactly what's going on.
People in the chat were saying it's staged, so like that makes
Yeah,
me
it
really
is.
sad if true. Because like I thought this was an actual crash out the whole time.
No, it's fake, but it's really good.
Much like the bonsai kittens, I thought that was real too.
Well, here's the part that Kirsha was talking about here.
So,
is this the thing where he?
Yeah, he sees it. See, there's the remote. He sees it.
Demonic possession. This is your brand on World of Warcraft.
Shut up.
Shut up.
What the fuck is this?
Oh my god, these are great. These are great.
Oh no, what is he gonna do?
I'm just making a point. This is not the controller up the took is, correct?
It is.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's the remote. It's coming.
Here we go.
Did they have like a different video? Because I could have sworn it was this guy who did it.
It's definitely this guy.
Yeah, here.
And here we go.
He's like,
Yeah.
I wanna feel something. I wanna feel alive, Dad. I need to feel something.
There you go, Labs.
Drop like one of your
It's for
French
real.
girls. What is he doing?
It's so good.
Or not. Imagine being remembered only for this.
Can you imagine he's
Yeah.
like trying to get a job and like they're like so and they just bring
Oh,
up the
it's so good,
image,
dude.
like, Can you
But again,
explain
it's like,
this to
you know-
me, sir?
All right, this is Waffle Pone. I don't know if this is the same people, but I mean, they've got 1.76 million. No, it's got to be somebody else who's like just.
even if they came
get
out and
it.
admitted this is fake, because I don't know if they did, but if they did,
Yeah.
this is still realistic to World of Warcraft players, and you want
I would
know
agree
why?
with that. I can, yeah. Someone
If
for
anybody here
like
played
this
World
is
of
definitely
Warcraft,
staged.
they
This video is staged for sure. I'm pretty sure they did say that. but yeah, it's totally believable too. That's why it's good.
Might remember someone named Mortrid.
Mm-hmm.
I had the unfortunate time of playing on the same server in Ion with Mortrid when he renamed to Serenia, and I learned about Mortrid's World of Warcraft history. And damn, is that guy fucking crazy.
I have that rage game
He
for
was like stealing people's cell phones and like just destroying people's places of living when they let him live with them when he was homeless. And his magnum opus was when one chick in, I think, California was letting him live with her. Her nephew also lived in the same house. And he couldn't get up from a World of Warcraft raid to go to the bathroom, so he shit in the nephew's shirt and then put the shirt back in the dresser, and then the mother found it and was like, yeah, your friend's gotta go. He can't stay here.
I actually kind of hope that this was staged, because I do like the idea of the two brothers like, okay, you know what? And then Act 3, yeah, stick that controller up your ass. That's what
I love it.
do.
Yeah, no, they definitely
He
workshopped
said,
it.
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, he did. If you want to show there, yeah, that's it. Let's see how.
Yeah, they worked it out.
By the way, like
this is like again, like I mean, like the framing is so good. He always stays in, you know, he stays in the frame of the picture the whole time.
Could you imagine your son?
He knows.
Let's just say you're a parent and your kid runs in
So
fully
good.
dressed. And then 2 minutes later, he comes out.
And I kind of think there's actually even like a cut
hanging out of his ass
where the guy like is like taking the
Looks like
camera.
not another teen movie.
I feel like there's like a cut in between. Obviously, I can't see this. This is like the video of a video of a video. But like, let's think. All right, 12:06. Like goes to here.
Oh my God.
Okay, was it any of these things? It feels like there's like a cut. It kind of feels like there's a cut
Another
there
teen
where he's
movie
like putting it
walking around
down.
with the banana in his ass over there.
Yeah. What are you doing?
See, he set up the camera.
No.
As a father, Craig, if you had a son that did have
This
a
is pretty
controller
good.
hanging out of his ass, what would you do in this situation?
Well, I would immediately identify him as a she/her and make sure that he got all the resources he need. I'd immediately start calling him Deborah, no matter what his name was, and it'd be Little Debbie, home of the controller.
Little
took us.
Debbie.
How
Oh my
embarrassing if you had to be like, Dad, I've gotten magnetic beads stuck in my urethra. You need to take me to the hospital.
That's right. That's right. You know, it's funny. As I was watching that, I was really thinking like this first video that we watched, if we were to slice them together, this is exactly what happened here.
This is just him 10 years later.
Yeah, this is
Probably. He was capitalizing on that
Turn the
streamer
volume
stuff.
down.
Sorry. Oh, I got footage of it. Here we go.
I just need to make a compilation at this point.
That's right. Together it works so great.
Oh my God, you could slice these together and then put them in the VR chat room where you're like in this stinky dungeon of a room with cockroaches and piss bottles everywhere, and your parents are outside the door arguing about how they want a divorce and how you're a failure of a son.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that would just bring it together.
That's pretty good.
It's very specific. I appreciate
That is, yeah, you're really
VR
world
chat
building
room I
here.
have favorited.
Right.
Jeez. Kirsche pushing it like crazy. I love the complete juxtaposition of like the side scrollers, crazy, you know, almost political stuff about games and craziness going on. And then we're going back to the eater stuff where we're talking about like donuts and stuff. Yeah. Like let's check out. What do we think? How do they make the perfect bar of chocolate? How do you make the perfect bar of chocolate?
You can smell all the aroma come out when you crush them, which is really nice. All those beautiful chocolate flavors.
Chocolate is happiness. It's something that can, you know,
Chemically speaking,
soothe
that's
your
true.
mind and soothe your soul. I
Yeah.
think for a long time we've grown up with this idea that chocolate is either dark or sweet, and that's it. Chocolate can be a lot more,
What?
just like wine, just like fruits.
Yeah, I think
This
it's
is
too
basically
much.
how we receive the cacao.
The beans themselves are already fermented and dried, and we bring from different farms
Really?
throughout Latin America.
Okay, that's interesting. Because I would imagine that the fermentation has probably got to be like a large portion of the difference you've got there. You know? So I mean, if I was gonna do something like this where I'm hand making a bar of chocolate type thing, I would want the beans maybe not fresh, but like kind of sort of maybe actually fresh. And then I'd want to ferment them on my own, you know, so I could have like a range of like, this thing's like super insanely fermented. This stuff's like just barely been touched. This stuff's in the middle. And then you can roast it off at different levels and that kind of stuff. Yeah, because it seems like for them, it's already fermented. It's fermented to a certain degree, and then it's roasted. It's already roasted to a certain degree.
And the Caribbean, and we keep them all single origin.
So chocolate is a fruit. It grows on trees.
Yep.
It comes from the cacao pod. Inside you'll find a pulpy fruit that is called bala. It has the consistency of soursop and then the flavor of a lychee. In our case, what we're looking for
Which I
is the
kind of would
actual
like to
seed
eat at
part,
one point.
And that's the cocoa bean, what ultimately will be transformed into
I would like to actually at one point like try to eat one of those fruits.
chocolate.
Just to see what they would
This
taste like.
variety that we have from Peru is from Marañón. It's considered to be one of the rarest cacaos in the world. It was thought extinct for about 100 years, and it grew wild in that time. It actually looks like milk chocolate because about 40% of the beans themselves are considered white beans or kind of caramel colored. And then over in Guatemala, we also receive this variety, which tastes a lot like oranges because they grow a lot of oranges on that particular farm.
Right. And I mean, that's the whole point here, is that it's like,
So each farm
it's like a
and
coffee
each
or a
country
wine or
and
something
even
like that.
specific regions have different flavors. We have chocolates that can be nutty, earthy, fruity, and that's all coming from the soil where it's grown, but also the bacteria that plays a role in its fermentation.
Oh yeah, very true.
We will hand select all of the best cocoa beans for us to use.
Whoa.
We're really looking to take out anything that's not a cacao.
Sometimes you get twin beans like these. What will happen is they won't roast evenly. At the end of the day, we're trying to make
Whoa,
a
so
better
they're really
product
going
than
through it.
what's,
That's crazy.
been commercially available. So to us, this is very important. You'll notice all these fissures inside the bean. And then that means that when the bacteria came in during the fermentation, it really broke down the cell walls and it let all those flavors mix in. So that's what we're really looking for is color, flavor, and fissures in terms of quality of cacao. So we'll pat it down just to make sure it's even because we want an even roasting.
Okay, so they do roast it. Gotcha. I kind of figured.
What happens in roasting is something called the Maillard reaction. The amino acids and the sugars start to interact with the heat, and it starts to develop the flavors and also the aroma that comes from the cacao. So similar to sort of searing a piece of steak, the same is happening with our cacao in that process.
We let it cool down usually for a few hours. And you have the shell, which is called the husk. And the nib is ultimately what becomes chocolate.
Do they hand
So a lot of people
shuck them?
think that dark chocolate is bitter. And the reality is when it's bitter, it's typically over roasted, which means that it's burnt. And that's why we medium roast. It's lighter, it's fruity, you can taste all these different things. And when we do chocolate tastings, people can really appreciate that we have an Ecuadorian that tastes like raisins. We have a Guatemalan that tastes like oranges. And then we have our Haitian that tastes super
But nobody
earthy.
does that, you know?
So then we let the cacao rest from roasting, and then we'll want to winnow. And that process is simply cracking the bean and removing the shell.
Gotcha. Okay, so they do that. Was wondering. Yeah.
You'll notice is most of the shell goes out towards the outside, and then the nib stays in place because of how heavy
Because they're
it is.
heavier.
So this is the machine that we use now. Chocolate's sort of been monopolized for so many decades. So there's not really equipment that we can use as small craft producers. We have a Champion juicer from Amazon, and then we have a shop vac from Home Depot. And the way it works is just like I was crushing it with the hammer, the Champion juicer will crush all the beans. And instead of blowing air into it, we have a vacuum which has that same method. As the beans drop down, they're crushed. As air sucks in, it'll take that lighter shell or husk up into here, and then that heavier nib will fall down because it avoids the air that's
That's
blowing
pretty
in
cool.
there.
That is some straight up like redneck engineering. But obviously this is in like Miami, so.
Husk, which in most places becomes trash, but we actually don't throw out a single piece of husk. So one of the big ways that we found a home for them has been in beers. It produces a different layer of flavor when they ferment the beer with
chocolate
it.
is my favorite flavor.
And it tastes almost like this
I like it
earthy
too.
hot chocolate.
I don't know if I'd go with my favorite flavor though.
So we're gonna pre-mill
I'm not
it
sure.
in order to make it a little bit smoother on our conching machines.
I do like it though.
The friction is creating heat, and the heat is
Personally, I probably go with vanilla. I know that's super basic, but it's also like it just goes with a lot of stuff. You know?
activating the cocoa butter that's present in the bean, and that's what will cause it to liquefy.
Oh, so they're doing
It starts to
hand.
resemble when you start making brownie batter.
That's crazy. I thought for sure they would make it a little bit
now,
electric.
That same cacao now suddenly is liquid. This is what we would call a chocolate liqueur. It's just a nib broken down. So
I like that's one of those things where
very
like
chunky peanut butter, very, very astringent. You sort of feel here the texture
Was
is
wondering.
quite gritty. So we would need to smooth it out, add sugar. If we're gonna make milk chocolate, add milk in order to transform it into the chocolate we're used to.
that's what I'm curious at that. Cause like I've always heard that like if you have like cacao, like if you have like the cold pressed cacao, even like 100% chocolate, 100% dark chocolate, that kind of stuff, so they don't add anything to it, it's way less bitter. Because to be perfectly honest, I don't know if you've ever had it, 100% dark chocolate, you can't eat it. It's like it's so bitter. It's not even like, ooh, it tastes bad. It's like no, like it tastes like poison.
I spent part of my childhood in Barranquilla in Colombia. Chocolate for Colombians is simply made. It's just very, very good dark chocolate. And that was something very satisfying and something that I really enjoyed and stuck with me for many years. And then from there, it'll go into our refiners.
What are they doing with
So
this?
originally these machines are actually nut grinders. So they're
Yeah.
used primarily in India to make nut butters, sometimes with peanuts. In this machine you find two giant stone rollers and a granite slab. And what they do is two things. One, refine down. So it's smooth, it's velvety like we're used to with chocolate. The other thing it's doing is a process called conching. And what it does is air is continuously moving in and out of the mixture and aerating it. So very similar to when you open up a bottle of red wine and you let it breathe. We're doing the same thing with the cacao. All of those tannins, those volatiles are evaporating as air comes in.
Who are
and it makes
they?
the chocolate milder as the process runs.
That's
So
super
we'll let
cool.
these run for about 4 days straight, and it'll refine everything down.
4 days. That's bananas. That's crazy. I would not have thought. Yeah, I would not have thought the letting it breathe stuff was evaporating the tannins. Is it evaporating the tannins, or is it like the oxygen in the air is like breaking them down?
So this is the sugar we'd use. It's unrefined, has more of a molasses taste to it. It sweetens the chocolate but doesn't overpower it. In this middle machine, we're making milk chocolates. We added also cane sugar, a little bit of cocoa butter for texture, and then we added milk powder because we can't add any sort of liquids or anything that's water-based into our mixture. Otherwise, it's sort of like when you add water to flour, it will really not work well with the molecules in the cacao. And then
I was
in
thinking
here,
it was
we're
split,
making
but
white
no, it-
chocolate. The one thing we don't have is any cacao nibs. So this is primarily based off cocoa butter, unrefined cane sugar, and milk powder. So typically when you have milk powder, it's this color. I'm not
So white chocolate is just the cocoa butter. But you don't have any of the nibs. So how do you get the butter out from the nibs?
not a huge fan of that type of white chocolate, so we like to do something near caramelized. We actually take this milk and we slowly roast it in the oven. It has a nice toasty note to it, which is
Like a
really
dulce de
delicious.
leche. Very cool.
When we take the chocolate out of the machine, at that point it is couverture, and that's when most places would buy that finished product in order to make their items.
Gotcha. Oh,
we use
they're
a filter, which is actually meant for like honey, and it's catching any nibs that we didn't refine, and that way we have a final smooth product.
super smooth. My God.
When you're producing
Dude.
tons and tons of chocolate each year, you have to buy from a bunch of different places and blend it together in order to sell quantity.
Yeah.
Those companies want the chocolate to always taste consistently the same.
Mhm.
So when you over roast, you can maintain a consistency, and then you can mask it with things like vanilla, so that that's always what consumers taste. In big
Gotcha.
manufacturing, they're typically connected via tubes, and chocolate has to travel from one side of the factory to the other. So they'll use a lot of times lecithin to help it run smoother from one side to the next.
Makes sense.
So it's
Definitely seen
really
lecithin.
an aid in production. We don't use any of those things because you're tasting exactly what they're producing
That's
on that
super
farm
cool.
from the soil, from the environment, versus just eating something that's blended together that has no different notes or flavor profiles from it.
That chocolate will solidify and will turn from this into this over the course of a day.
That's crazy. Look at that big. Look how big that thing is.
The cocoa butter that's present in all chocolates we eat is a 6-phase polymorphic crystal, which means at any point it can be in 6 different types of stages. At this stage, it's not in its ideal form, so that's why it creates these weird color patterns. If you were to bite into it, it would be sandy. Because of that textural change, it'll alter the way you experience the chocolate. It won't be as pleasant.
Whoa.
But if we're gonna make any sort of bars or
This is
bonbons,
cool.
we'll have to temper it.
That's so cool. Holy crap, dude.
We've melted down the chocolate to about 40, 42 degrees Celsius to take out all those crystals that we don't want.
And then you temper it. So
We're
you.
gonna slowly cool down the chocolate.
I was gonna say you slowly cool it
So
down.
we're using temperature and movement to form a crystal formation that will create a chocolate that is silky to your palate.
Mmm.
This is extremely important. You can make the best tasting chocolate in the world,
Mhm.
but based on that texture will not be as good as when you have a good temper.
Crazy. So I guess
the
that.
mixing is just adding the good crystals that we just formed in that batch into the rest of the chocolate that is untempered. All the molecules get into formation, form a little conga line, and in doing so, all of the chocolate molecules are in order and look nice.
Yes. That's cool. That is so cool. Holy
One
crap,
of the
dude.
things that's very important is how we source. Most farm holders live under $1 a day. It's a very difficult industry. For us, it's really important to support these producers who are investing time, money to produce something better. They should be compensated for what they're doing.
Sure.
We're not talking about fair trade. We're going above that, which is direct trade and being able to pay them more than that basic commodity price.
What? That sounds like competition.
We're gonna start the process of making bonbons. So this color is made out of cocoa butter, which comes from the cacao bean. It has a little bit of coloring in it. And what we've done prior to this is tempered it in order for it to be shiny and glossy, just like our chocolate has to go through that process.
Ooh.
So one of the things that makes us unique is that we're a bean to bon, and that means that we produce all the chocolate that goes into our bonbons.
Crazy.
I actually am an organizational psychologist by training. I worked as a management consultant. I was in Europe, in Paris, and I had this amazing hot chocolate, and it just seemed so simple yet well made. I just couldn't stop thinking about what a great
that's
thing it
cool.
was, and how I wanted to bring to the U.S. something similar to what I had tasted overseas.
That's so cool. All right, so it is just like the shell, and then you're
So
gonna
this
pump.
ganache is made out of
The
dark
ganache, yeah.
chocolate and then some rum.
Ooh.
And when it crystallizes, we're able to do the final layer of chocolate, which is the foot
It's
of the
sealed.
bonbon.
Yeah. That is so much work, dude.
I
Holy
would
crap.
use Couverture to play around and see how it worked. I realized it was either too sweet, it just didn't focus on the cacao, it was blended, it was a lot of the things that just didn't seem to highlight and recreate that experience that I had had with that hot chocolate. I knew I wanted to take it all the way back to the bean.
Crazy.
Making a product like this that's
That's pretty cool
labor
looking.
intensive by hand helps us control the process more from start to finish. When we roast and we analyze, we have more of a care as to what we're doing as opposed to just everything being fed through a machine. And it takes us about a week, but it takes the farmers 2 to 3 years to grow the plant, 6 months from the time the flower comes out till the pod is ready, and then from when the pod gets cut, another 2 weeks. So it's a very long process.
that's pretty.
Behind each bar, there's a farmer and a story behind all of that, and we really want to make sure that we
Dude,
honor
look at
that.
that. That's
We're
crazy.
talking years in the making to consume that final piece of chocolate that you buy and consume.
Oh, it's still like gooey in the middle. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is pretty cool looking though. That's insane. All right. And now, let's see. Do you want to go back to this? I actually want to check out this Rev thing about what was it? This is Silk. Do I want to see anything about Silk Song? You know what? I don't want anything to spoil my Silk Song. So I'm gonna actually move over to this Foxu News Special Edition from our favorite resident Fox girl, of which there are many. So you've got a lot of choice. So it says a lot that she's our favorite. The migrants involved in Dundee Axe Girl incident charged. Let's hear it. I just have to point out the insanity of going from, we made a chocolate bar. Oh yeah, man, we're really thinking about the farmers. We're doing fair trade, this kind of stuff. Hey, what happened to those migrants who attacked those kids in Scotland?
So, it's about the Scottish
Allegedly.
miner that got arrested for brandishing weapons at a migrant.
Allegedly.
And this Aesthetica account, I don't know anything about them. I follow them, but I don't know who they are. I don't know how trustworthy they are, right? So I was like, huge grain of salt. I'll wait for more information. And it turns out they were fucking right, brother.
Whoa.
So, he said, haven't been able to get the story out of my head. I think this moment is the turning point. You're either the type of country that allows innocent little girls to be fed to the wolves and forced to defend herself against migrant rapists, or you're the type of country where the men say enough is enough and take their country back. It's now or never.
Yeah, the UK is like, I have a lot of people, not in the chat, but definitely in like my comments from the UK, because I have those couple videos about like Gary's Economics, and they are, I mean, like, I get it. I get going into it and being like, Gary's Economics, being like, he's gonna save us. He's the guy, like, because those people, they're hurting. They really are legitimately hurting, and they're looking for solutions. And unfortunately, the solution they're probably actually gonna get is one that's going to be not necessarily full on like Civil War level violence, but there's going to be, I think there's going to be some like legit kind of bad stuff going on. Hopefully it turns out well for them, but I mean, yeah, they're in some trouble, and it seems like there's not any way they can get an election anytime soon to potentially fix these things democratically. I mean, it could be the case that they can get some of this stuff done locally, and maybe that helps them out. But if their federal government in the UK is like not allowing local municipalities to do this, then I mean, yeah, the who is it? Is Asmongold saying, look, the UK is heading for a revolution? That is definitely the route they're going.
And then this guy on August 27th quote retweeted Aesthetica. And this guy, Justin Murphy, his bio says he's a writer, author of The Independent Scholar, released this year. A History from Plato to Emerson, creative director at Knockchain. I don't know what that is. PhD.
Something about
professor.
blockchain.
And he looks very soy, so you know exactly what I'm about to read. Say goodbye to my mentions, but I have to tell you all that little girl in Scotland is not carrying knives to defend against a migrant attacker. Everyone got duped.
Oh my
Ready
God.
your blood pressure medications, chat.
Yeah.
The 12-year-old girl is a gang member. The person recording her is just troubled by her huge knives. Think about it for 1 second.
I mean, one of them's an
convince
axe.
you with data. But first, just stop and think. Even if
First, just stop and think. 12-year-old girl, gang member. That makes sense.
she is the subject of an attempted rape or whatever, are you not slightly puzzled by why she just happens to be carrying an axe in her pants?
Just stop and think.
Because she lives in a country with roving migrant rape gangs. What do you mean? If I had
Just stop
roving
and
rape
think.
gangs to worry about every time I left the house, like I was a character in fucking Borderlands, yeah, I'd arm myself too. If she was in America, she'd probably have a fucking gun.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's just a little rape or whatever, you know? What are you worried
Hey,
about?
look. Come on.
You really think this is a common and necessary practice adopted by young girls in Scotland because there are so many marauding migrant rapists? LOL. Question
Lol.
mark. Yes, where do you
Yeah.
live?
Yeah. I mean, like, just like, hey, let's think about this. And I was like, I mean, don't you know that knife crime is huge? So, I mean, you have to, like, look, this is the thing where it's like, you have to defend yourself somehow. If the only thing you're going to have is knives, you know, and people are getting stabbed all the time, you're like, all right, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to wear a flak vest, I'm gonna wear a flak jacket all the time, obviously. But then also, I'm going to have a knife too.
To be clear, everyone, including myself, is speculating because there is hardly any confirmed information at all. But I'd bet money against the immediate outraged consensus, and here's why.
Here's why.
Scotland has white territorial youth gangs. I really would like to have a study on people who so clearly live outside of reality.
Just stop and think.
In how they think. Because how do you
It's so good.
maintain a worldview in your head, even with copious amounts of cognitive dissonance and mental gymnastics? How do you keep a worldview in your mind that is just so 180 at odds
I
with
don't know.
how reality actually is? Like it is confounding, and I really want to study this. They're called young teams, and they're common in poor areas. Guns are super rare, so the weapon of choice is knives, axes, machetes, etc. This is so hard for the American mind to comprehend.
Come on, Brits. You got it.
You get back at me when you have fucking air conditioning.
Oof.
When Americans think of violent criminal gangs, they think of
Man,
black
okay. Everything else was fair game. But the air conditioning slander, you're crossing a line.
men on the south side of Chicago
Oh my
shooting each
God.
other with guns. In poor areas like Dundee, Scotland, the gang problem is very young white boys and girls who carry knives. Even if for a second we believed this man's delusions, Scotland is, for now, a majority white country. So it would lend to believe that if there were gangs, they would also be white because it is a majority white country. Guys, it's over for Europe. There's so many people that would rather throw a child to the wolves than be even only a bit controversial. It is insane. It is insane. Even if
Yeah.
that's true, it ignores the
Well, I mean, again, we're taking a non-representative sample because, you know, the amount of people on Twitter and these types of things, you know, they're going to be overwhelmingly deranged because that's what Twitter does to people. X does to people, or certainly did. And, you know, there's people hanging on that are still. So, you know, we can't lose all hope
actual
and
problem.
perspective.
It's very hard to believe, but let's continue with his delusions here. In one study looking at 4,300 youths in Edinburgh, 30% of young people between 12 and 17 had carried a knife at least once.
Okay.
The age at which carrying a weapon was most common, 14. The age at which carrying a weapon is most common is 14. The girl that was carrying weapons was 14. She must be
She was
a
12.
gang member.
Yeah.
Right there! Coincidence? I think not.
Bro, when I was 14, I was buying katanas from the army surplus store. What? Like,
Base. That's cool. Weeb, actually. Never
did
mind.
you slice bread, motherfucker? Do you have a license for slicing that bread? Dundee has a particularly high prevalence of knife incidents, about 144 per 100,000 people a year. The very highest in the UK is the Midlands with 178 per 100k, so not far off. I don't know anything about statistics, so I can't call them out on that. I don't know anything about your crime statistics over there. Men are always more involved with gangs and violence than women, but at age 13 in Edinburgh, gang members were only—
Let me think, what is that? So let's see. So it's 100 per 100k. Does that mean it's like, what, 0.2%? What, like, you know, like, is it 1%, 2%? I think it's 0.2%.
only about 57% male, so more females than you'd think. Knife carriers at age 16 were 70% male, so a full 30% of early teen knife carriers are girls. Well, that's rather transphobic of you. How dare you assert that there are only two genders who carry knives? Scotland doesn't like to collect racial data for this kind of stuff. But Dundee is 90% white. Yeah, I wonder why they don't like collecting the racial data.
Come on. Should have mentioned that.
So yeah,
you need
in
an
the
editor.
absence of confirmed details, the overwhelmingly rational inference. Oh, I'm sorry, she's 12. I thought she was 14.
Yeah. Her
Is
sister
that this
was.
12-year-old white girl in Scotland is literally just a random criminal gang member. That's what they look like in Dundee, Scotland. Even if we take into account all of his like blithering about youth gangs in Scotland, if you stacked up the youth gang numbers versus the migrant rape crime numbers, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm not a betting woman,
I was just wondering.
but I would put
Dropping
money on the
stuff.
fact that the rape gang statistics far outweigh the youth gang ones.
Yeah.
Weird copium flavor. In the UK, it's not so much men fighting for rank amidst drug dealing, etc., like in the US. These youth gangs in the UK are a weird kind of low energy, early teen dynamic, fueled by boredom, alcohol, and malaise.
Ooh, big word.
Malaysia. It's more like angry friend groups with nothing else to do.
Sure.
Membership in these gangs usually fades by the late teens. By age 17, only 9% had carried a knife in the previous year.
Okay.
Also, just ask yourself, why would the rapist or sexually harassing migrant pull out his phone to record? It makes no sense. Because you know that if you record this and you ask her to show her knives, she's going to get arrested under your authoritarian laws.
Yeah.
And everyone is going to defend, oh, the poor little migrant. The poor little migrant did nothing wrong. Look at this violent white woman. She must be in the wrong. He knows that he can get her in trouble. What the fuck do you mean?
That's
also, at the end of the video, after the young girl walks away, why does she walk back towards the attacker with a menacing glare and gang-like gait? Gang-like gait?
Yeah. He just thought he was being, you know.
You know, anytime
very
I
fun.
see a guy doing that like bow-legged walk, you know how like cowboys got bow-legged walks from riding horses back in the day? In current year, men don't really ride horses very often, so if they have
It's
a
true.
bow-legged walk, it's because their balls are so fucking massive that it's affected the way they fucking walk. I'm gonna be like, hey yo, sexy, nice gang gait.
Gang gate. Oh my god.
The swagger of a young Scottish teen. What does that
Yeah.
even mean? Is she moonwalking like a smooth criminal? Holy
Oh my
shit.
god.
Gang-like gait. This man is scared of a child more than a grown man.
Yeah. The gang like I mean, he just thought it was a cool turn of phrase, and he was like, "Oh man," he was very self-satisfied
This
writing
isn't
this.
even a man. Like, I don't want to call it a man. You have to be drinking some truly phenomenal Kool-Aid to think she's just so fed up with being harassed by migrants every day on her walk to the park. She's finally snapping, and she's tempted to end this abuse for good. What a joke.
Yeah.
How is this man real?
Yeah,
This
come
is
on,
like
you
a
can't.
literal thought of millions of people living in the UK and Ireland and
Yeah.
Scotland. Like, what is he
Just stop and
talking
think,
about?
dude. Come on.
Please think for 1 minute next time. That's crazy. Doesn't matter, as Oprah says, it's emotionally true. It couldn't be such. There's no such problem as it references. Seemed pretty clear from the reporting this was a gang of young teenagers accosting a Bulgarian couple.
Oif.
It looks like this was published just now. Corroborates my point. This is a crazy thumbnail for an article. They blurred out her face and the fucking knives. What is the UK, dude? Americans have this impression that Scottish cities are filled with roving bands of migrant rape gangs, but the biggest source of day-to-day criminal activity tend to be white native youths from socially deprived areas.
Again, I mean, just
And then we
statistics,
finally
man.
have some people who are intelligent say, "Journo scum defending rapey foreigners. No one believes that a 12-year-old girl is a gangbanger harassing innocent Muslims for fun and kicks. You fucking clown!" Oh god, they cannot eat it per capita. This guy, there's literally no upside to counter signaling this 12-year-old being harassed by an adult foreign man, unless you're being paid to do so. Everyone like Justin pumping this bizarre take, 12-year-old white girls in gangs, you can mark down as a paid enemy agent. Clearly, it was socioeconomic.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, the paid stuff, probably, yes. But I also think they do it for free.
Around, and then he
You know?
doubles down on this, right? This was on,
That'd be my guess.
This was on August 27th.
They'll do it for
He
free.
doubles down on August 28th, and he says, "This incident will go down in history as the greatest cognitive disaster on the X platform in the early 2020s. Like Gamergate or
worked like mid,
Cambridge
but okay.
Analytica, Lola the Lionhearted will become shorthand for the present stage of our ongoing epistemological holocaust."
What is Cambridge Analytica? I have never heard that before.
I'm fucking floored, bro. This is the exact moment when Facebook tier boomer slop mutated and jumped platforms, capturing a higher IQ segment of anthropods on a platform that is generally
Lord.
seen as more sophisticated.
This is literally just like, oh man, the left can't meme. Yeah, we're done.
Some of you just made a mistake and you'll retract, no big deal. We all jump to conclusions sometimes, but many will dig in their heels and never make it back to reality. My last tweet debunking this story is being confirmed by new sources. I'm pretty sure it's over. Holy shit,
over,
this
bro.
post is the word spaghetti of an autofellatio equivalent. This needs to become like a copy pasta. This is too fucking derangedly beautiful.
It
to
is.
not become a copy pasta.
It's really good. It really is impressive. It's so like perfect, like the left can't meme thing. It's like, it's really
to
good.
see this repeated in the future. I gotta fucking bookmark this bitch, dude. Save. Hasselhoppathank. You can tell she's using common gang slang, like, your kid bashers, get away from us, and don't touch my little sister, she's
Right.
12. Exactly. And continuing on here, on August 28th, Tommy Robinson tweeted out, "Missing since July 29th, the last time Lola was seen, she was wearing a blue Nike t-shirt and light blue jeans with tears on the knees. That's the same outfit she's wearing in the video. Those on the side of the migrant adults better hope this isn't as it may be." And he posted some screenshots of articles here that say, "Missing
What?
sisters last seen at Dundee Shopping Center as cops launch urgent search."
Uh-oh.
This is from July 30th, 2025. Sisters Ruby and
That
Lola
was a
Moyer have
month-
been reported
more than a month
missing
ago.
after last spotted visiting a Dundee shopping center. Romanian grooming gang convicted of sexually exploiting women in Dundee. A police Scotland detective said the gang
Do you think these are Romanian? I guess so. Okay.
applied to their victims with alcohol and free Class A drugs at
Uh-huh.
parties before coercing them into sexual activity. So he's correlating the fact that, hey, there
Mhm.
are roving rape gangs here. And also, those
Right.
girls in the video that we've seen have been missing. He's quoting retweeting himself from August 25th, saying reports from locals in Dundee. This was the incident leading up to the young girls being filmed by a migrant and having to grab weapons. Someone named Abby Sommer posted a post that said, "My daughter's friend, who is 13 years old, just got attacked by these two people in Lochy. Lochy? I don't know how to pronounce your town names, I'm sorry. They were trying to chat
Ioki.
up this girl's 12-year-old wee sister, so she told
Ioki.
them to leave her alone, and these two jumped on her. My daughter was with her and called the police. Her friend is a 13-year-old and in a hospital now. These people now with police, but also now conveniently can't speak English anymore. They sure could talk English when they were fucking perving on a 12-year-old girl.
Wow.
Romanians with African accents. Oh, it gets better, chat. So Aesthetica
Yeah.
here, on September 2nd, posted an update. Aesthetica said, "Important update from the families of Lola, Ruby, and Maya. This will be part 3 of my reporting on the incident. Finally, we have concrete answers and definitive proof of what happened on August 23rd.
I like that this is actually all happening on X, because it does, like, it's like, okay, this was the whole point. Like, this is the town square. You know, that's kind of like what it's supposed to be, right?
If you've followed my reporting on this incident, you've gotten a very different story than what was originally told by the Scotland police, by the migrants in question, and by the media. The claim by the Scotland police that the CCTV footage, which conveniently has now gone missing, proved that there were no crimes committed other than the possession of offensive weapons charge against Lola Moir. We now have definitive proof that this is a lie and that the Scotland police have been engaging in a cover-up to protect the migrant and his sister from the crime of assaulting a minor. Attached is a screenshot of the hospital record proving that Ruby Moir sustained a serious head injury, concussion, as a result of the assault by the gypsy gangster Fatos Ali Dumana and his sister. If you recall from my previous reporting, we described the vicious assault where the sister of the migrant violently attacked Ruby unprovoked, yanked her to the ground by her hair, then her and her brother, the gypsy gangster, proceeded to kick her in the head while she lay defenseless on the ground. You'll also recall that this is what motivated Lola to pull out the knife and hatchet to scare off the violent migrants and save her sister's life. The evidence also proves that the Daily Mail defamed these girls when it published a fake puff piece article on the violent migrant claiming he is just an innocent Bulgarian dad. In the fake article, they also published the following lie from the migrant: "I didn't hit her. I swear on my life. I have a baby now. I would never hurt someone, would never attack anyone."
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not hit her. I did not. We hope that the Daily Mail will do the right thing and publish an immediate retraction.
Oh, God.
In addition to the hospital record, which unequivocally proves the girls have been telling the truth the whole time, the families also have a recording from the Scotland police where the police admit that the family sequence of events is correct, corroborating their entire story. The Scotland police have promised the families that they will release a statement in the coming days vindicating the families and clearing their names. We can only hope that this leads to charges filed against the violent migrants and the charges against Lola dropped. The family wants to thank everyone who donated to the GiveSendGo fundraiser, link below. And we want to thank everyone who has supported them through this ordeal. It means a great deal to them that there are still good people out there who care for them and care about the truth.
Okay. So when was this again? I don't know.
This is an NHS Tayside Emergency Department 9 Wells Hospital. And it has like the address and everything in Dundee. Dear doctor, and he shows the last name of Moir, date of birth, ASHI number that's all blocked out for personal information. School unknown, responsible consultant. The above patient attended the emergency department 9 Wells Hospital on 23/8/2025 at 2011 and was discharged with no follow-up on 23/8/2025 at 21:44. The letter has been collated.
So that was, wait. So that last thing was in, I think, like July. So this is August.
By Claire Bryson. Diagnosis description is ED injury, head injury, concussion. Wow! Wow, imagine that! There was, I don't know which post it was on, but like somebody asked him on one of his posts, like, why should we believe you? How are you even getting this information? And he's like, well, it turns out I'm the only person who bothered to reach out to the families to get their side of the story. And that's fucking crazy. It's like, I guess you can just do things. Maybe I should just start reaching out to people when I have questions on stories and I don't want to report on them yet. Maybe I should just send out emails, bro. This is from September 4th, so yesterday. These are the updates I'm talking about.
Okay.
Medic Sisyphus typed out here, anyway, the gypsy recording those young girls pleading with him to leave them alone has been arrested because he was obviously a villain. The Courier tweeted out, a man and a woman have been charged as part of a probe into an incident in Lochee.
Ooh, charged.
And he's quote retweeting someone who said, aren't you the one conspiring that every local and British media, the police are bad faith actors conspiring to protect a foreign sexual predator and to punish a young girl? Damn!
Ooh.
Damn! Life comes at you fast, don't it? So one of the witnesses of the events in Dundee has posted a 2-part TikTok story of her version of the events. I never saw this. Let's watch this.
Get rid of me whilst I do a story time on what actually took place on Saturday night as a witness, because I was there during the whole thing. I was the one who made the 999 call to make the police show up. So I feel like I should get my story out. Basically, me and my friend Ruby, who was one of the girls in the video.
I mean, this is okay. I don't know if this is true.
We had just been
Apparently?
swimming, and
This is really weird.
and 2 other girls, and we were walking to go to one of the girls' houses because she had some stuff that she had to drop off. And whilst we were walking through Locky.
Is it just me, or is this like completely insane? This kind of a story while doing like a, hey, get ready with me, this is my morning routine. Oh, okay.
As we were walking through Locky, we walked past the man that you see recording us in the video. We just were walking past him, and as we walked past him, he made some remarks to Lola, saying, "Oh, you're so and we were like, oh, that's not okay." So obviously Lola's sister was not happy because Lola's 12. So yeah, like I was saying, Ruby was like, "Oh, go away, she's 12." And
oh my god, this is 9 minutes long.
And again said, "Oh, she's so..."
We don't watch this whole
So we were
thing.
like, we did shout at him.
Okay.
We didn't shout at him because we did. And I feel like that's the only way that people will believe me that I'm being truthful. We did shout at this man after he called Lola. Because we were like, she's 12, that's not right. And he proceeded to do it again. So after this man did it again, we were shouting at him. And
that's really creepy.
I was like, okay, let's just leave it. So I literally tried both cars away and we started walking again. And then the man started following us. He followed us from the top of the car park, which is like here. And it's just straight, so he followed us all the way, and then he followed us down. But the reason we know he was following us is because at first he was walking the opposite direction with a friend. Because I've seen a lot of people speculating online that he was with his wife, but he was not. He was with another male. He was not with a woman, and nor did he have a baby in a pram. Because if he had a baby in a pram, this whole situation would be a lot different, because we...
Girls who were subjected to a creepy, rapey migrant have to explain, we're not racist, we just don't want to get raped.
Yeah, it's weird. We're gonna jump. Yeah, 10 minutes long. I'd like to hear slightly more about
what's going on. That was 10 minutes. That was a long explanation. God damn.
It's huge.
But life comes at you fast, like a groomer at a child. Good lord. No weapons based. Yeah, weapons based. They saved them that day. And then,
probably.
Moving right along here.
There we go.
Aesthetica saying, apologize, midget! Quote retweeting that Justin Murphy post of brain damage we read earlier. So just heard from the family that the gypsy gangster migrant Fatos Ali Dumana and his sister have now been charged for assaulting a minor. Police statement coming. Some people should probably start deleting tweets.
Nah.
Oh, here it is. Without doxing you or them, could you explain how an American Aesthetics account has become the go-to on the inside scoop of the story? Apparently, I was the only one who cared enough to do some digging, find the family, and listen to their side of the story.
Well, I mean, muted. Yeah, looks like she muted herself.
And then once again, moving right along here.
It's something.
Gay prematurely blocked me to avoid facing the music. Please let him know how big of a retard he is. And he has an image here of Sam Bowman saying the guy who filmed the girl with an axe and kitchen knife is a married Bulgarian Christian who came here legally and was going to the shops with his wife when it happened. No charges being brought against him, and there is CCTV footage of what happened. Yeah. Damn.
Seems like no.
Damn. That's the pattern. Snark and block. True. Further proof that you don't hate journalists enough, no matter how much you already do. There is always room to hate journalists a bit more.
There should be.
And then we have a scumbag local media outlet, The Courier, who ran a puff piece about the gypsy migrant a few days ago, are now forced to report that he was arrested for assaulting a minor. The Courier has a screenshot here. It says, a man and a woman have been charged as part of a probe into an incident in Lockheed. And they've locked replies on their post somebody else had mentioned previously. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. The same outlet harassed the family, particularly Maya's mom, calling her racist and a bunch of other defamatory statements.
I am losing a decent amount of frames, which is weird.
Just for telling the truth.
Well, I shouldn't say weird. I know why it's happening.
Defamation lawsuit. Can they even do that in the UK?
Maybe. Nice.
A man and a woman
Good
have been
stinger.
charged over an incident which saw a video of a girl allegedly brandishing an axe and a machete go viral online. The girl, who had already been charged with possession of offensive weapons, was allegedly seen wielding the blades in the Lochee area of Dundee, Scotland on August 23rd. A viral clip of the incident drew attention from the likes of Elon Musk and Tommy Robinson after false claims online appeared to suggest those filming it were illegal migrants. Police Scotland swiftly denounced the disinformation in a statement. The incident...
All right. I like this stuff, but I've already heard some of it, so I want to just kind of like jump.
Let's
Looks
see.
like a
The
slipper to
BBC
me.
has an article. Does the BBC do this fucking image? Like, I get that they blur the face because she's a minor, but the fact that they blur the knives is just insanity. I just actually insane.
I like
A man
it.
and a woman
It's
have
fun.
been charged over an incident that saw a 12-year-old girl allegedly brandishing weapons on a Dundee street.
There we go.
The girl was earlier charged with possessing offensive weapons in St. Anne Lane in the Lochee area of the city on Saturday the 23rd of August. Police Scotland said officers had made extensive inquiries into the incident and repeated pleas for people not to share misinformation on social.
Gotcha. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, there's a slight update on this, but we don't actually know specifically what they were charged with. I'm hearing like a couple different versions of events. Like this person was with two people. Like one of the people who was apparently a witness there was saying, you know, it's two men were involved in it. This is saying it's a man and a woman. Another guy said it was, you know, a man and his wife. Someone else was saying it's a man and his sister. So I have no clue. I think at this point we're just like, we have no idea. Obviously, I'm much more sympathetic to the idea that this 12-year-old girl is you know, not carrying knives because, you know, she's part of a gang. That seems silly. And yeah, I mean, the UK being in the state that it's in, certainly, even if that were the case, you know, a lot of people will say, well, hey, you know, like, a lot of these sort of like actions or incidents that incite like the big BLM riots, like a Michael Brown or something like that, are, even if the specific incident is like not actually like racially motivated, there's no impropriety involved, all of these things are like justified shootings or whatever. The fact that they incite such like, you know, widespread rage means that there's got to be some underlying problem that is true. I don't know if that's accurate, but a lot of people have said that. So even if this specific incident turns out to be like, it's not going to be, it's going to be, you know, if it was, you know, this 12-year-old girl is actually like, you know, at fault, we would already know about it. It would have been dealt with already. But yeah, so if it's going longer, I think it's because they're stringing it out, because that's, you know, unfortunately that's what the UK does. But even if it wasn't, the fact that people are so up in arms about it means that this reflects a felt reality throughout the UK and Scotland. Or just, I can just say the UK because Scotland's involved in the UK. And I mean, it's not a good place to be. But again, unfortunately, that's the UK as it stands right now. All right, I'm going to watch one more Eater video, and then I'm going to have to quit because I'm dropping frames, but I'm also going to be so stinking hungry after this that there's no way I'm going to be able to go any further. Let's think. Let's see what we can do here. I want one more video. Okay, yeah, this one. 3 Michelin-starred coconut dessert. I want to check this guy out. What is this going to be? Oh, come on. Yeah. So I am, yeah. Like lagging, I'm losing frames. My internet's not cooperating.
I've just destroyed it.
Oh! Jeez, really?
I'm at La Bernardin, legendary New York City restaurant.
Seriously?
One of the best in the world. I would have left my job of 11 years only to work here. Luckily, I get to still come here and hang out with Chef Thomas Raquel, and we're going to make his coconut dessert.
Interesting.
The ethos of the restaurant, meaning fish is the star of the plate, I think with this, like coconut is the star of the plate. Like I look at the dessert menu as a collection. Each dessert should offer something.
Basically, to make this specific dessert, you are going through quite the process.
The main goal was to reinforce the flavor of coconut. It uses a lot of coconut products, coconut water, coconut flesh. We will recreate the coconut. We start by cracking these young coconuts.
Yep.
We save the water to make the granita.
Interesting.
It's great.
I just want to like rub this.
Hydrating your
Oh
skin.
my god, okay.
You got this.
Did not
Behind
really
your
this.
Just don't cut your fingertips off.
Okay, no. Never mind. I'm sorry. I thought this would be about just making the dessert. I'm not listening to somebody else snark. I want to hear the person actually talking about it. So let's see. Next, we got pasta, bagels, urchin, bourdain. People like the meat stuff. I really like like I said, I really like the pastry stuff. I just think those are cool. Meh. We will go with latest then. We checked that one. Should have the best pancakes in New York. Let's see. Is this going to be the same person? The best diner. So it's a whole thing. Okay, here we go. NYC's best bakery. That's
This
what I
whole
was looking
process
for.
was a huge pain in the ass, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
It's 5:30 now. We're opening in 2 hours at 7:30.
That's what we were looking
This is our
for.
maple sausage croissant. We get
Let me
sage
just
maple
torture
breakfast
myself with
sausage
food I
made for
can't
us.
eat.
Once I have all these gaps filled, we're gonna roll it up and then cut it.
Ooh.
Like the traditional spiral shape, I honestly think it's one of the hardest shapes because when you're moving the dough around, there's a tendency to stretch the dough, and when that happens, that means
They get
like
thin
you're gonna have
spots.
inconsistent sizes.
Yep.
We're egg washing, and it gets
Super
topped with
tough.
lots of fresh sage that we then gets crispy in the oven, and then when it comes out of the oven, we're gonna brush with maple syrup, which is like the perfect salty sweet bite.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
epitome of your brunch plate.
I can see that. Yeah. Since opening in 2023, Radio Bakery's popularity has soared thanks to social media. With lines out the door, it regularly sells out on the daily. Come on, man. Every day on the daily. Almost 2 years after opening its first location, Radio Bakery opened a new thing. Blah, blah, blah. Radio Bakery in Brooklyn.
Bakers get
How
here
old
at
is this
5 a.m. and then
year?
it's just like hit the ground running to get, I don't know, a dozen different pastries finished and baked off. It's a push, but it's fun. Making sure we're clean and organized and then ready for usually the line that has been forming earlier and earlier every day. So we're filling our apple brown butter croissants. Apple croissant is our seasonal croissant right now. We make like a very dark brown butter custard, and then we top with thinly sliced apples. Before we
Ooh.
even opened radio, we knew that we wanted
looks
to do
interesting.
very distinct seasonal special croissants. The seasonal pastries are extremely popular. I guess you could say like limited time, or like people just love something that is very in season. Most
Wonder if they
bakeries
do
finish their
lemon juice on the
pastries with
apples.
A store-bought nappage, which is water and pectin typically, but we make our own. It seals in, makes sure the apples aren't dry, and makes it taste like fresh apple, like right off the tree.
Huh.
So we're opening in 5 minutes. It's go time. We have people starting to line up outside. It's about to get real busy real quick.
Yeah, buddy.
Typically, on any given day, we're mixing 12 pitons worth of croissant dough. So this is our pre-ferment.
That's
This is going to give it a lot of flavor.
Holy.
And then she's also
The
gonna put
whole
in
thing?
Our croissant trimmings, yeast, milk. There's a lot of ice in here because
whole thing.
it's a fairly long mix, and we really want to make sure that this dough stays cold. Maybe the most important part of this croissanto is we use Small Valley milling bread flour. The special patent flour is necessary because it's high protein, and that's what gives the croissant its big burst in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly's busy with something, so I'm stepping in with croissant dough with Valerie.
That
so we're weighing
whole
out
thing.
5.4 kilo pieces. We're just gonna try to shape these into like kind of a rectangular log. And once that happens, Valerie's gonna press them down and roll them out and get them on sheet trays. We want it to be nice and flat and even for the laminator.
Jackie, my head baker, been with me since Rolo's. She's like the yin to my yang. I went to pastry school, but I wanted to be pushed harder, and so I transitioned over to cooking. I ended up moving to New York, and
I would
with
think
one
pastry is
restaurant
like
in mind, Gramercy
the
Tavern,
most difficult.
Got the job. I worked there for a little bit over 2 years on the line, not pastry, and then I kind of had like a moment where I was a little bit lost, and I knew I wanted to go back to pastry, but I didn't know how. Howard and Rafiq were opening a restaurant called Rolo's, and everyone at Gramercy knew about it. I reached out to Howard, and I was like, do you guys need a pastry chef? He brought me in to talk. They had no idea that I could do pastry, and they kind of took a gamble on me and hired me to be the pastry chef of Rolo's, and it blew up, and I loved it. I remember sitting in the car with Rafiq and him turning to me and being like, do you want to open a bakery with us? And I like remember shaking him and being like, I'm gonna own a bakery in New York City. It was never our intention.
And he was like,
to be
no,
a
I'm gonna
high
own it.
bakery
You're just gonna work
or
there.
What we are now. I'm just making things that I want to eat, you know?
There you go.
From that
pretty
point
easy,
on,
right?
it was like hit the ground running. We're gonna start laminating croissants. So we get this butter from France. It's high in
Dude.
fat, and it's also really dry, which helps define the
Damn.
layers.
Get some fresh out.
It's really important that the butter and the dough are the same temperature. If the butter is too cold, it'll crack. If it's too warm, it'll melt out.
Really? I mean, I knew it would melt out.
Gets offcuts, which is these, and we save them and age them, and that's what we use as a pre-ferment in our croissanto. The offcuts of like our round croissants, those get turned into cinnamon rolls. Okay, so that's it. That's my first block. They're all going in the freezer. They'll relax for about
Interesting.
an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we will shape them as the day goes on.
That is a huge amount
So
of
it's a
like
lot for 10. It
pre-ferment
looks like
dough.
we're about to be
It's
sold
crazy.
out of lunch focaccias, which is not ideal. Sandwich team is in full-blown sandwich mode.
But normally I can be waiting in line for up to an hour and a half. I would say that in the past I've been
serious?
in line for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe like half an hour sometimes if I really want that croissant.
Did that guy literally say an hour, hour and a half? What the hell are you doing, dude?
We have told people
You have an
that, like,
hour,
if
an
you
hour and a
want
half to
this
just
pastry, be here
piss
at
off.
7:30, so you won't be disappointed.
In New York
I
City.
heard about Radio Bakery through my girlfriend, and she told me that she found it on TikTok.
Yeah, so I never expected us to become viral. If I had to choose one pastry that probably really blew us up, it would probably be the tomato croissant that we made this summer. People are still asking if we have the tomato croissant, and sadly, you know, it's a seasonal special,
we don't,
and
bud.
so hopefully we'll have it next year.
We'll
I mean,
see.
we opened this bakery with like a team of less than 10 people.
I wanna say it's onion.
Last year, we just like continually keep getting busier.
Curious if it is though.
Val is getting started on our focaccia mix. This
Janet
was just
does.
like delicious. When we move to open the new radio on Underhill, Jackie will be taking over here. Big Mama in the house.
Oh my god,
So
I'm
apple
losing so
morning
much
bun
stuff.
sausage croissant. Okay. Jackie
What is
is about
going
to
on with
get
my- I don't know
focaccas in
what's
the
going on.
oven.
So I'm just popping these bubbles. I dock them so that they don't rise up and like have tons of air in them. And then I'm going in the oven. It's gonna be 550 degrees. It's really, really hot. It'll give it a nice crispy exterior and like a really soft, chewy inside, which is ideal for focaccias.
People are always asking us, like, why can't you just make more? It's because everything takes 3 days to make. What we're baking today was made yesterday and needs, 4 hours to proof.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of prep work that a lot of these kitchens do is like bananas.
We want things to be tasty. Tasty things require a little tender, loving care, and you can't rush those things.
You
After
can.
11, when we're gonna start shaping. So first we're gonna start
Just a
shaping
classic
our classic croissant. I'm gonna have Haley hop in now. She's like the master at cutting croissants, way better than me. The dough, when you sheet it out, is different every day. So that is why we weigh these every single time to make sure everything is consistent. Every single baker I know shapes croissants a different way. Ours is just a very simple, we go for 7 humps. The ears, we like with like a little curl. We call it ears up. Zoe and Amanda are the most consistent, amazing croissant shapers here, and now Haley too. That just goes to show that if my team can do it better than me,
look
then
how
that's
pretty that
exactly
looks.
what I want. A croissant should also have like a perfect honeycomb. Honeycomb is when you cut into a croissant, you'll see all the layers and it literally looks like a honeycomb. And that shows that it was laminated with skill and confidence, which is what every baker strives to do.
Yes.
Oh, it's a good croissant. Nice job, guys.
It's a good one.
This is going to be our morning bun. Our
great.
Earl Grey morning bun. The idea came when we were doing pop-ups through Rolo's before radio opened. So I was testing everything at Rolo's and I wanted to do something with tea. Morning buns get a nice amount of butter and then a good amount of Earl sugar. And we grind it with a little bit more lemon
it's
zest.
essentially just
We get really good Earl Grey tea from Serendipity Tea. I tell families all the time that buy this for the kids, I'm like, it has caffeine in it. So prepare yourself.
Yeah.
If these are rolled too tight,
I feel like you could probably do it with
inside the
just
little belly
like
button is
bergamot.
gonna spiral out too much. If they're rolled too loose,
You know?
they don't really stay together. I think we make over 600 of these a week. This could never go off the menu. I think people would riot. This is like beautiful. It's exactly what we're looking for. You can see the lamination.
Look
you can
at
see
that.
a nice amount of sugar, and they look
Look at
very
that
happy.
lamination.
So we're
That's
gonna tray
crazy.
these up, and
Crazy.
tray these up, and freeze them for tomorrow.
That is crazy.
I am testing our Queen Amman, which has been my dream for going on 3 years now. We're gonna use a little bit of flour and start our first fold. I lived in Napa and then San Francisco for a little bit, and there's
it
this
just
bakery there
normal
called
butter?
Bee Patisserie, and they're known for their Queen Amman. And I had the Queen Amman. I swear to God, it was life-changing. The process can take months or years. Me or someone on my team is constantly R&Ding. The Queen Amman I'm still testing after literally 3 years because I just can't version that it could be. So on my last 2 folds, I'm gonna add my sugar, and I made a mix of soba cha tea, maple sugar, and a little bit of salt. My dough feels nice and strong. Pretty good so far. When we shape croissants and any of our other viennoiserie, we laminate and then it needs to rest for at least an hour to let the gluten relax. But Queen Amman,
Feels like they're
since
getting-
the dough is so lean, it's gonna come really syrupy. We're gonna shape it right now and proof it right now.
Right.
A month ago, I was so close to like unlocking this and getting it right, and then I just had to take a step back. But I know it when I see it, or like when I taste it. And so today, hopefully, it's like the almost winning Queen Amman. These are gonna rest. I mean, aside from like recipe testing, we are constantly checking in on our pastries and making sure that are they executed to their best potential. That's pretty good. Even our morning
That's
buns
pretty
have also been
good.
on the menu since before we opened. But just last week, we put a little bit more butter in the molds and we added more sugar, and like they're better than they were a month ago. And I think that is
Shocking.
so important.
A little
that
bit
it's
extra
not just
butter and
always about,
sugar
like,
is
looking
it's a good
ahead
thing.
at the next best thing. It's
I don't know
also
if that's
about-
true though, because here's the other side of this is where it's like they are doing this all the time. They're getting like butter and sugar tolerance built up. So like somebody from like another country or something like that, like someone from Japan where things are like not as sweet and not as like rich would be like, oh, this is too much.
Checking to make sure that the staples, what we're selling every day,
Those are so dark.
staying true to themselves. So it's about $2.15.
Those
We're
are really
completely
dark.
sold out of everything except for a one single loaf of bread. But we're gonna close up shop
Aw.
so that we can clean up and get some staff out of here earlier.
Second location.
We are at 186 Underhill Ave, the new Radio Bakery in Prospect Heights.
Looking to get
so
some
as
stuff
you come
built.
into the bakery, you'll be able to see people shaping, dividing dough right here. As we go down,
Okay.
there's gonna be tables here for people baking. This big table,
Mhm.
and then right next to sandwich station, this is gonna be the sheeter
Uh-oh.
and like lamination station. It's tight, but
Okay, apparently I just straight up lost my stream. Did it just 100% stop on me? I want to see if it comes back. If it doesn't come back, obviously this is it, but my guess is it's dead. I think it's straight up disconnected completely. Although it's not saying